This is Jordan Grace, and you're listening to the Social Suplex Podcast Network.
BW, babe. This is One Nation Radio. You better get it right. Rich Latta, James Boyd came to give them life. The Blackest Wrestling Podcast has come to kick all ass and drop it 6 feet if they're kicking trash. Word. Let me welcome y'all to something different. And if you dig it, man, you should let some friends listen. We be getting it in. This on the regular, dude. Ravish and flow, but this shit rude. See, James don't rap, so I had to break it down. The whole network, man, we coming for the crown. Raps in the columns, I keep them both covered. Making the beats too, so the listeners can bump it. Hit us with the rating, yeah, I'm saying it's a 5. Before you hit it, talk, bob your head side to side. It's One Nation Radio, and this is the beginning. It's Rich, and I'm here with James. It's time to listen to One Nation.
You got to unleash the power of the pyramid.
This is Mike Sempervive from WrestlingObserver.com. Check me out on Wrestling Observer Live every day. And also check out your boys, Rich and James, on One Nation Radio.
Hi, this is Kenny Omega. We're listening to One Nation Radio. Check it out, guys. These guys know what's up. Big Kenny Omega fans, that's all that counts to me. Goodbye and good night. Bang.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of One Nation Radio. I'm James Boyd. Here with me, I have Rich Latta. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. We have defeated fascism.
Well, maybe this particular strand of fascism.
Correct.
Yeah, like, so, it's ever going to fight. You don't just, just beat that and then you just move on.
It don't just go away.
Right.
It will reform. It will come back.
Yeah.
It will rise again like Triple H. In the middle of his career.
Oh my God.
Because the only thing that lasts is the racism.
Oh, man. Yeah, and lots of other things. Yeah. I can't believe that I spent an entire night staying up for election results for an election I knew wasn't going to have a decisive winner for days, or maybe even it was as far as it could even go as long as a week. And I still stayed up like a dumbass that whole night, just looking. I did that. By the time we got to that morning, that Wednesday morning, I was kind of felt confident on where things were headed. In should James Boyd run one of these media outlet call desks, because it's
funny because you just sent a voice message, and then what happened was promptly they reported that in 100 ways over the next 3 days, just walking up with the key race alert, even though it's like nothing happening.
Right.
12,500 more votes just came in from this obscure county you've never heard of. Yeah. I'm like, who gives a fuck? Like, I don't let me know when this shit is called.
Yeah. Like, I think, from CNN to MSNBC, and I didn't watch any Fox News, but I'm assuming
they trick y'all, man. I'm
assuming
they trick y'all.
They milked
they
all
tricked
of those
me.
incoming ballots from by the thousand, by the hour to give you updates. They milked all that coverage. They was finna get that ad rev, bruh. They was finna get that, and I don't blame them, because that was what we were set up for, given the pandemic and the mail-in ballots and all that, and with all of the chicanery between the Republican Party and the Democratic Party in each state, with all these different laws per state, and the Supreme Court allowing each state to decide what they want to do between the legislature and whatnot. Like, there was for all these states with all these different rules that was it's just a mess. So, on one end, this was going to happen even if they weren't trying to milk it. But you go online and go to the Twitter of, some of these, 538, for example, in other places, like the HQ, Decision Desk on Twitter, verified accounts, and they got this shit, and then all of a sudden you don't find out from CNN or MSNBC or whatever you're watching, the shit that I've already seen on Twitter and talked about and disseminated to y'all and talked about for an up to 15 minutes after that happened. It's I'm sorry, I thought y'all got paid the big bucks. It was just weird.
Need to send some of that revenue, over here.
I mean, shout out to John King and Steve Carniacki, because they were out here on that telestrator putting in work. Your boy, bro, they were catching him in candid moments. Carnacki from MSNBC. They were catching him in candid moments while he's running numbers for the number of, this county's just sent in 12,000 votes. He's running the math on trying to figure out, okay, given this county what they've, the sample of what they've sent in, the percentages, what would that mean as far as trying to cut down the lead or expand the lead as the clock keeps ticking. And, sometimes, paper ends in your mouth when you're out here trying to do math, I guess. And they clowning on them and everything. They say that people making jokes about how they, they're throwing them out the building so he has to sleep instead of staying up for, 48 hours straight and stuff like that. It was shout out to them, but yeah, man, it was stressful. It was stressful, but not super stressful. Like, it was unease, I guess that's the better term for it. Just like, all right, man, like, I understand that there has to be a certain threshold, but like, ain't no reason for you not to call Nevada. Like,
yeah.
Do it. It's there. It's there.
They were trying to trick me, that night I was watching it and my nerves were jumping a little bit. So I had about 4 strong margaritas. So like the margaritas, like I was mixing it with lemonade, right? So the amount of lemonade that I had to work with for 4 like big cups was, all right, when you have a 2-liter bottle and then the sticker, like the liquor or the mixer that I started with was under the sticker. So by the time you get to 4, of them strongly, made things, I was I was relaxing as much as I could, from that point forward. But I was watching, and then I woke up at like about 3:45 a.m. energized after falling asleep and feeling like, oh God, I hope, because Florida hadn't gone, the right way, and it was like, it was feeling like, I was like, oh no, I hope this ain't a repeat of last time. Then, you start seeing the Wisconsin thing and, seeing that what's happening in Wisconsin is about to roll over to like these other states. I'm like, oh, I'm energized now. So
seemingly, yeah. It was just, I never knew that I was going to learn so many different counties for these different major cities, like Clark County for Vegas, Green Bay is Brown County of all things. Go figure. I knew some of the counties for Detroit already, just based off of you looking at a dot census map and seeing the racial segregation. But it's like, it was crazy. Just, I hope we never have to go through one of these again. Like, it lasting so long. I understand back in the day when, you had to send these, you had to go get on a horse to send or tap Morse code to get the election results and shit. But
snail mail.
Yeah, this ain't the way. Like, we can't do this. We can't do this ever again. I understand, pandemic's a pandemic, whatever else, but we cannot do this ever again.
I got some great comedy out of this election. Like, I got some great clout as far as these memes I put up. I put some on TikTok that like went all the way off. I'm talking like damn near 1,000 likes, 500 comments, like people going nuts, and I'm not even responding to them. They having their own conversations. Just anything that I could catch that I could put the sad violin music over. Oh, I was on it. I saw something of like, some folks in Make America Great Again hats. They were like praying on their knees, like, in front of like some voting office. Like, it was like high comedy, the peak of comedy. So if y'all got anything good, pop it in the Discord, because I love to see it.
I mean, there's also like the cognitive dissonance that was like in Detroit. they're outside telling people to
yes,
stop the voting, right? Because they're in the back and they're counting up these mail-in ballots. Or sorry, Pennsylvania, either Pennsylvania or Detroit, I remember. Yeah, and then you go to Arizona, where like because of their history of mail-in, like those votes are actually going to be more heavily skewed towards being Republican votes or for Trump, and they're out here yelling, count every vote. And it's like, bro, it's just a situation of the mail got decided a certain way. Like, I understand you want to root for your side or whatever else, but like, there's no consistency. Like, this is goofy. This is goofy, right? It's like, have you no shame? Like, even George W. Bush in 2000 knew, like, yeah, I can't go to different states and campaign this shit. I gotta just go to Florida and tell them to recount this shit. Like, it was whatever, man. It's a mess, and
it was a lot. It was a lot of people that showed up to vote. More people on both sides than ever, which is like crazy when you think about it. It's amazing how much like the mail got like telegraphed into, like, I feel like Trump like spoke it into existence, like that was going to come back and bite him in the ass. Like he knew this shit was like all right, just everything how COVID has played out. Mm-hmm. And the messaging that he was like, don't wear a mask and all this other stuff before. And, he was going to try to, like, I feel like this was like long-term booking.
People were on this saying that this was going to be a thing like months ahead of time. And, that's the kind of the reason why, like, I was on all of this, like, where votes coming from, what it's going to look like, because, like, months ahead of time, I was made aware of, like, what is this going to mean when they slow down the mail, when they're politicizing wearing no masks, trying to, scare off people, have to sit in lines in some of these, for lack of better areas that are like, almost like precinct deserts where, there aren't that many precincts. There's just so many people that have to go to one and then have to do that forever. And, that you've had to watch that for, years now, for many election, as you see black people have to sit in line on the day of election day and like have to beat on doors when they want to close the doors out to keep them out. So like it's in my mind, it's like, just like, how bad is this going to be? And I talked about my election my election thing earlier from last week. So it's like I saw all this happen. Like, I was so worried as far as like what is going to happen with this. And, luckily so many people got the word out and were so aware and we're hip to this. And, you have activists out there campaigning and knocking doors and whatnot. And
shouts out to all the progressives who was knocking.
Yeah. To get the word out that, like, nah, man, like, this mail stuff is, you can send them out, but once it reaches a certain date, like, do not put that mail in the mailbox. Like, put that, or, take that to a drop-off box, or take that to your precinct for early voting or on election day. And like, do we talk about Georgia now?
Yes.
Georgia voted for a Democratic presidential candidate. The majority of Georgia did, for the first time since, I think, 92 with Bill Clinton.
Yes.
Now, it's funny to see people all of a sudden realize that, oh yeah, these aren't necessarily just red states as much as it is states that have black people like disenfranchised. But I'm glad people are starting to realize it. And, like, the next step isn't, like, this is a great first step for, I'm changing that. But, like, you can look at these other states like Alabama and Mississippi and South Carolina that all have substantial black populations in the 30s and the 40s. I think Mississippi's like 40s, damn near 45% black. That's should be where this should be headed next after this. And I don't mean like just by the next election, because that's obviously not going to happen. But I mean, over time, the work should be done towards that and less towards trying to figure out the economic anxiety for working class white folks. It just flat out, like, if the Democratic Party believes in its actual ideas that they put out, that should be the goal. Like, not trying to be as this, what I think be ultimately doomed strategy of, like, trying to be this center left party that caters to white people as opposed to the coalition of black people, of women, of minorities, and of the LG. Oh my God, I almost botched that. The LGBTQ community. So, it's their choice to make. We've been making this choice for a while. Like, and you look at that primary, and you saw who won, right? But it's now on to the future. Now that this is over with, is to look forward to 2022 and 2024, and there's work to be done. Like, Kobe's gone, but that line's always gonna stick around. Job's not finished. Job's not done.
Job not done.
Yeah.
So it's all about trying to get them Senate seats.
Right.
In Georgia, it's gonna be tough, and that ain't no guarantee.
It's 2 runoffs, right?
But
it's 2 Senate runoffs.
Yeah, 2 runoffs. Yep. So, like, I'm just happy that Donald Trump himself, that snake, the head of the snake, is getting cut off right here, even though he doesn't want to leave, and he's trying to tie everything up in litigation, and pretty much get dragged out the territory like he's like Bobby Heenan or something. But I feel great knowing that shitbird didn't get to win.
Yeah, I don't really. It's been such a stressful. I don't even know what normal would even be.
Hey, also, get the bleeper ready. Yeah, and I'm glad that these didn't win.
Oh my God, was it 17? All right, 17:30. All right.
Because they quite bother me a bit too. So
yeah, they will
not prosper.
Yeah. I forgot what I was going to say, but just. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. Like, it's just the Trump thing was like, I don't even know what, people were seeking to go back to, a normal political cycle or whatever else. And I'm like, I don't know if that's even possible. And quite frankly, like, given what we've seen over the last 4 years, like, this was just all bubbling underneath anyway, post-Obama. So, we're still going to be post-Obama. So, like, what the fuck is necessarily normal? Like, and it's going to be, obviously, we're not going to be at that at least for now, but I'm still, I feel like we've dodged something, but like, I'm still very wary and very cautious of like what could potentially be ahead in the next
watch for the hook
8 years. Like, yeah, it's, what will they come up with next? Like,
well, if history tells us anything, they will come up with something.
Yeah, I mean, 6 Supreme Court judges. It's, we'll see. I guess it's time to just get into wrestling now, but
yeah.
Saw a lot of good fucking wrestling this past week. Unfortunately, I have not seen Walter versus Ilya Dragunov from NXT UK.
We will get to that, though.
Yeah, we'll get to it next week. I just haven't gotten around to it. But still, saw a lot of great wrestling this week. Saw a lot of good ass wrestling this week. So, I guess we start off with the biggest show, AEW Full Gear. Rich, you have initial thoughts on this? On this show?
Yeah, man. It felt like so energetic. Watching it, they had the most fans that they've had at any point in there. It had about 1,000 fans, and it was mic'd extremely well. From what I gathered, like, it was way better than what All Out was. Of course, I was at All Out Live, which it was in the building, a very strong crowd, and then it just didn't come through for whatever reason. But it felt energized. It felt big. It was one of the better pay-per-views of the year. Some people are saying this is the best AEW pay-per-view there's been. I'm not sure how I feel about it on that level, but I really loved it. It felt special, and I was happy to see a lot of. It was a great night for the Elite, like fans of the Elite, like the Bucks and Kenny, really represented. I feel like, and the main event, like it felt like that was art, especially with Eddie Kingston, and just seeing everything, like that guy's going to be a big baby face rather soon. It feels like, he's converted. I think he converted a lot of people. Mox with another strong main event. I think overall it's just like after, a poor showing at All Out, I feel like they were right back on schedule and back to greatness, back to business, like Cameron was saying.
Yeah, I thought this was a great show. I think it's one of the, I don't even want to put a name on it, but if you want to go, 15 or 10 deep for, non-New Japan or American best show or whatever else, I think it'd be up there. Well, if you go American, it's somewhere in the top 5. If you go to the whole world, all wrestling shows, including G1 stuff, I think it has to be somewhere in the top 15 or something like that. Yeah, but anyway, I'm getting too far in the weeds. Great show. And I don't think really, aside from the Matt Hardy Ultimate Deletion match, I think you could say every match was at worst good. Or let me phrase it, like there were no matches that were bad or mediocre. And then you had 4 matches that I would say are great. So I feel like, the show went longer than than it needed to go, but it wasn't like it was, riddled with, just flat out terrible matches or anything like that. So, do I think it's the best pay-per-view AEW's ever put on? No. I still would take, the first All Out. But if it's 2, it's still, and they only had one show that wasn't great, it doesn't really matter. It's still a great show. Mm-hmm. So,
did you mean a different show? Cause you said the first All Out. Did you mean Double or Nothing?
Yes, that's what I meant. You are correct.
Okay.
You are correct. Yes.
Yeah, so I guess we can run it from the 10 up. So we got the opener. We got Kenny Omega facing off against Hangman Page, and back on the call was the golden announcer, Kenny Omega's family, the man, the Impact Wrestling EVP, good old Don Callis. I was very happy to see him. It just felt right. Kenny Omega in the ring, Callis calling it. I was overjoyed. I was like, either A, he needs to get brought in for Kenny's matches, or B, can he manage him?
He wasn't insufferable like he's normally been. I don't know if it's like absence has made him chill out or what, but he did not make me like run to the Japanese commentary. So yeah, he was good on commentary. He wasn't, trying to think of other commentaries on it, but he wasn't JBL like calling a John Cena match. Like he just wasn't. But yeah, anyway, back to the actual match. Great match. Great pacing.
Super pacing. It was like, I never knew what was coming next at a certain point. Like, it was like, outside the ring, like, you Irish whipping this man. Oh shit, it's a moonsault.
Yeah, they cleared that. That was one of the best spots of the night, in my opinion. And that was like early. That was like in the first 3 minutes of the match. Maybe 2 minutes of the match. But yeah, just, Kenny, I still worry about him and his neck and his head with the shit he wants to do to his neck and his head on ramps and other places, but,
he took like a big power bomb out there, if I'm not mistaken.
His head had just bounced off the fucking, ramp, that horizontal ramp. Yeah, so, and then you also throw in like the match he had with, Pentagon from 2 weeks ago or from a week ago, when he gets stuff package power drive right on his head. Power drove. And, there was also a spot where I think it was the Tiger Driver, and they got a shot of Hangman getting the Tiger Driver. He landed right on his head too. I'm like, God damn, y'all are killing each other. I thought this was supposed to be, fake. Like, Jesus. But yeah.
thought y'all was friends.
Like, I thought y'all were supposed to, like, beat each other up while, like, protecting yourselves from, like, the super dangerous stuff, and then y'all drop each other in y'all heads and neck on hard surfaces. Like, this ain't the way. This shit ain't gonna last long. You keep doing this kind of stuff. But yeah, like, ultimately, like, it was a great match, great pacing. They chopped the shot at each other. The V triggers were plentiful. And ultimately, yes. There was one tease, but after one tease of the one-winged angel, he ends up dropping him with it and pins him 1, 2, 3. Kenny is the number one contender.
Did you find it very interesting that when it came to time to have a match, you see who was getting cheered for in the building?
I didn't notice that. I heard both back and forth, but I didn't notice that it was overwhelmingly for. You had told me that you heard most of the Omega chants, but I mean, for me,
they were hyped during his entrance. He was getting the yays during the yay boos.
Oh, he was. I have to rewatch the match.
Yeah, it was quite interesting. I was like, look, and Kenny pretty much wrestled this match as a straight up babyface. He wasn't really cheating, not really like, doing anything like unjust. He kind of just came out there, he had his entrance, and I gotta rewatch the entrance again because there's a little bit of noise around me. I didn't hear all the digs. I know I heard something about his 1-0 lifetime against Hangman Page. Right. I heard that part.
Yeah.
But yeah, I found it really interesting. Like, I wonder if that's a function of them either going to slow roll the build to the Moxley match, to where they would, further pivot him heel more. But, it didn't feel like, it felt like it was just a good night for Kenny, like, as a babyface, which I don't know if that was the, I know they want to get Hangman over ultimately. So as like the person everyone's cheering for, but I warned people about it on this show for months. I was like, the second they turn him, he's going to outshine whoever. So good luck. Have fun. But, I really enjoyed this match. I wish it got 5 more minutes so I could have went ahead and gave him 5 stars. Instead, I'm going to do the cowards rating. So
yeah, I'm giving it 4.5. I'm not even gonna give it a cowards rating. But yeah, it was a great match. But I think that if it had gone like 5-6 more minutes, it could have gotten a 5. But it was just it didn't get to that level to me where I was like, oh my god, what's next? It's like, yeah, I know what's next. He's like Heyman's gonna bounce on the rope. He's out to blast him with a V trigger. Like, oh, bam! Oh, okay. But it was a great fucking match. What was the next match after that?
So up next we had Orange Cassidy and John Silver. So Orange Cassidy ended up getting a win here, but this also like kind of snuck up on you as a very solid match like after it.
Yeah, I don't know if this was by design. We talk a lot about, other shows that have to go back to back to back and have to follow great matches as far as like, the blueprint really is, the Okada-ism is just save all the stuff for the back half of the match, and we try to, basically be our own palate cleanser at the beginning. And, at the beginning of the match, I'm thinking to myself a lot, like, this is just kind of there. This feels like this is just, they were set out there to go die. And then eventually they started doing a bunch of their, lucha stuff and high impact running stuff. And then it was very fun at the end. But this is another match I would say, like, I don't think it was a great match or anything like that, but it was, by the end, it was a fun match.
Yeah, Silver did a lot of funny things like ripping Orange Cassidy's pockets out.
Yeah.
Silverism on full display, flexing, doing all types of power moves. Like this man's a power wrestler.
The one-armed gorilla press slam was just like, wow, okay, all right. That was
so
impressive.
Like don't you find this funny that like Orange Cassidy finds himself on the other side of like the hot cult act?
That's hot cult indie, yeah.
That's like immediately like months after like he was wrestling Jericho, and
yeah,
you know, it's amazing how fast life comes at you.
I didn't think of it like that, but yeah, that's a good point. Like, is that gonna be the thing now? Like, he now has to fight everybody that ever gets over on BTE.
Oh my god,
is that anything?
That'd be funny.
Is that the new wave?
So, speaking of BTE, Trent won the BTE championship today.
Okay,
he beat Silver and Matt Jackson in the golf tournament.
So does he have to defend it?
Eventually, he will.
How often?
I don't know yet. I would think it would be on every BTE. I would think.
Okay. Next match after that is a TNT title match, right?
Yes, TNT title match. Darby Allin versus Cody Rhodes, and we have a new AEW TNT champion, and it is Darby Allin. So this match went just about as long as the opener did.
Really?
And we got so the opener is 16:28. This match is 16:49. So I like the title change. I wasn't expecting it. I had been saying going into it, I thought you could have fully beat Darby again, and really, because I felt like Darby hadn't suffered enough, kind of. So, however, they wanted to swap the belt here. You can do that. For me, I would have liked to see more flashy offense from Darby. However, I think Cody and him, like they had a objective. It looked like they were trying to get across. Like they were trying to show the story of Cody taking this guy lightly, dominating the match, but ultimately getting caught at the end. I love the crossroads from the top rope. I thought that was like really cool. I like the juxtaposition of like Darby being out there by himself, and then Cody really rolls out there with like the entire dipset. And I say that because they're all wearing American flag clothing and all that. So so let me try to off the dome see how many people came out there with him. So he had Brandy.
Yep.
He had Billy Gunn.
Yep.
He had Austin Gunn.
Austin Gunn. Yep. QT. Austin Gunn came from this where his spot was a barricade to walk up to get in the photo. So he was in there.
So you got QT.
Yep.
You got Lee Johnson.
Yep.
You got his brother.
Yep.
Did I mention his wife yet?
I think you mentioned Brandy. Yeah.
Okay, so I'm up to at least 7 right now. So, and there may have been like somebody else with them Nightmare family jackets on. So, as we clown months ago, the Nightmare family is always growing. You don't know who's going to be in it. They pick up dudes literally off the street.
Now, my question for you would be this: if Scorpio Sky wasn't in COVID jail, would he have been up there?
I don't think so because he's with SCU.
Right, but wasn't he like involved with that?
I guess he would count as an affiliate, kind of.
God damn it. Okay.
Yeah. I'm an affiliate.
Yeah.
Hitman.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of.
Run it back. I'm an affiliate. So another Georgian blows a lead here as Cody Rhodes, loses. Darby Allin's the champion now. So, what you think about this? I ended up giving this one a 4.
I was watching it and I was thinking like, this what happened. They're wrestling. It's very good. And then I sent out the message to y'all in the Social Suplex thread saying, Darby is the Cody Whisperer. And then my plan was, as the match was going along, to point out like, this is like their 4th singles match. They've done nothing but have good matches. and this match was very good. So I'm not saying like the streak is broken or like that, but it's like Cody gets in the zone with Darby where he wants to tell stories and they're not goofy and you don't just pull out like random nonsensical stuff that makes no point, that just pop you, right? So
I've heard it described as Cody became a mark for himself at the end of the match.
And then literally like 10 seconds after I press send on that one, they rip off the middle turnbuckle, threw Cody into it, and then Cody then proceeded to not sell it for the rest of the match or do anything with ribs or midsection being injured at all. It was just a spot to do. And I was like, God damn it. Oh, man. But besides the point, I love, like you mentioned, the crossroads off the top turnbuckle where he rolls, and it's a natural looking roll as opposed to the roll we saw later in the show, where, you know, the arm gets underneath the rope. He has him beaten, but he just, you know, he made a mistake, right? Taking it too lightly, as you mentioned. And then the finish, I probably would have liked Cody to have kicked out there, and then he hits him with another pinning predicament, and then got him with there, because you know that's kind of my thing with, I don't know, maybe I watch too much Stardom and they do that spot so often with the 1, 2, roll back up, 1, 2, back down, 1, 2. So maybe that's just a me thing, but anyway, like it was a good ass match, and I hope in the future, maybe the distant future, they wrestle each other again in a different context. But I really I think I like and enjoy Cody wrestling Darby more than him wrestling anybody else. I quite frankly, there's a perfect match, and it's, you know, given that we saw with the lumberjack match with Orange Cassidy and Cody, was it either last week or 2 weeks ago? Maybe it's a thing where Cody just better working smaller dudes so he can work as, like, you know, the big man Cody Rhodes offense. Maybe that's the trick for him to actually, like, you know, not rely on so much of the sizzle in, like, instead of showing you like there is stake there with him. Like, I think that's the thing he gets caught up in, is trying to do so much carny shit as opposed to just wrestle sometimes. And you know, that's why I think that's the reason why I like so many of his Darby matches, or like his that matchup in general. Like, he just wrestles.
Yeah, so Darby being new champion, of course, they had at the end of the match, Team Taz came out there and started immediately jumping on him. So Ricky and Brian Cage came out. Ended up Cody was trying to help him, and it ended up getting their ass whooped, laid out again, thrown up on Darby's little jacked up car, and till the man I was counting down, wondering where the fuck he was at, and then he showed up, and then Will Hobbs, James, you had a so Will Hobbs shows up with a chair, and he, you know, what did you make of this?
I feel like I only see Will Hobbs when there is a white man to save. That's when a white man is in danger, Will Hobbs comes and saves the day. Like, I think he's had one match or 2 matches on AEW, on Dynamite. I was like, not AEW, but on Dynamite, right? It's been 2.
He's had at least 2. At least 2.
He had the one with Darby. Yep. Was there a tag match following that?
He had one with Darby, and he had one with Brian Cage. Yeah.
Was he in the Battle Royal? Or not, the Battle Royal where Cage debuted? Was he in that?
No.
No? Okay, so I think he's had 2 matches on TV or pay-per-view.
He was in the Battle Royal at All Out.
The one where Cage debuted?
No, that was, Cage debuted at Double or Nothing.
Okay, I'm mixing all these damn pay-per-views up. I'm my bad. But yeah, okay, so he's had 3 matches or whatever else. But anyways, like, it seems like,
so Will Hobbs, you know, Joe Biden voter, saving white man out here.
Oh my god. So really, that was actually like real storytelling. Like really, since black people saved the white people's democracy, like we're really all just
all connected.
Hobbs. Okay,
it's all connected.
Right. Yeah. All right. That was awful. But, maybe this gets back that tag match, that 6-person tag match that we were circling around for a while. Now that, we're past pay-per-views, you get a good, photo op of Darby and Moxie together, cause since they're gonna have a budding bromance at some point. I can see them being, future tag champs in, a year and a half. So,
It's funny you say that, cause I thought they were gonna flip, based off this, they might flip Cody into that Mox position here and then have just Cody with those two guys. Cause right now, Cody can't challenge for the world title. So, and he just, maybe Cody gets a teammate. Maybe this is something to align him with, either Hobbs or something. I don't know. So,
see,
I wouldn't mind.
I could see that.
If he stepped in as the 6-man person, but I want to make sure Hobbs gets established kind of on his own.
Right. I could see that, but my problem,
got enough fucking guys.
That's one, and then two is you put Darby with Cody, and all you're going to see is a looming threat of him and the Nightmare Family whooping his ass and wanting his belt back for the next few months or however long they're together, whenever they're together. So I kind of don't want that, at least not right now. And then, it's also y'all told us we were gonna get this match. I don't want that transferred over. Put that match on the Dynamite and run it. It ain't gotta be a pay-per-view match. Put, what else is Moxley doing in the next month? Right? So, run it.
If it was me, I'd book that match fucking Wednesday.
Well,
all right. It's the start of a new cycle. We can burn a week here and then get to whatever we're trying to get to off of that. I wonder if the finish would be affected at all.
I think you could pop a rating on it. That's the thing. I think you can pop a rating. So you go out there, you put it all back together. You have Taz and Moxley talk shit to each other again, which is money. and then you go do the match in a week or two. I feel that's more their style. And plus, I don't know what the main event will be for this coming Dynamite, but they're going to do Pentagon and Phoenix again, and then they're also eventually they're going to get that Scorpio Sky and Spears match back at some point. So it's kind of, we're getting too far in the weeds as far as how they're going to book, but we'll see. But that could be. I imagine that is going to be a main event whenever they do it, if they do it again.
Well, Darby Allin, your new TNT champion. So, congratulations to him. So, also, first singles competitor that wasn't in WWE to win the belts. That wasn't in WWE to win a belt. So, I know that was a big thing for some people, that apparently people in WWE were barred from winning the championships, apparently. So, I don't know.
So, who do you want to see him on pay-per-view fight?
I'd like to see Ricky again. I would have said Sammy Guevara, but I think Sammy got a long road home based on what happened to him on this show. I would look at Lance Archer, Darby Allin.
You think they get Cage? Do you think they can keep Cage away for that long before they eventually do it?
I think Cage is going to end up being the lower member of his faction. Ricky's going to be the ultimate destination guy. So Cage will get in there and lose, and then that leads back to Ricky.
Look, I know that Ricky Starks can talk, but I think the plan originally is to go with Cage as the bigger person. Maybe down the line it becomes Starks is the bigger star because he'll get the mic and he'll talk. But I don't think that'll be. I think that's months down the line before they realize. The actual star in Team Taz is really Ricky Starks.
So, I'm sure, there's a whole route for him to fight. How about you fight, the Lucha Brothers or some shit?
Yeah, Jungle Boy.
Yeah, MJF, if he wants that belt. So,
especially now that Cody doesn't have it.
Yeah. Now, up next, we had the AEW Women's World Title match. Hikaru Shida taking on Nyla Rose. Nyla Rose came out dressed like Mega Man. I was informed. I'm not one that normally catches those kind of things.
Had no
clue. This was okay. It felt like they had a lot they wanted to do. Then it got sloppy. Then they saved it. Then it went too long.
That's
so.
Yeah.
So they got ample time. I would have probably just gave this a 3 and called it a day.
Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm on it. It's a 3-minute match that went. It felt. Well, how long did it go?
14-12.
It's just they couldn't, whatever they worked in their last match, the stuff that they did, like, it just couldn't recreate that. I don't know if just because it was the I don't know if it was just because of the no rules element or whatever else, but they had the simple story of Shida trying to work through a knee injury, and it didn't click for me. It just didn't. On the level of, like, compared to the last match they had, but it was all right. But
feels like Shida's days are numbered.
Yep.
As a champion, because obviously you weren't going to drop it to Nyla Rose, but you've got like a bunch of heels that are around, and one in particular that is ready. For me, I think you book Britt Baker and Big Swole like rather fast. You have Britt pick up a win there and start heating it up, and then by the time Revolution comes, like, it's Shida and Britt, and then we gonna switch that bitch. Like,
yeah, it's time. Yeah, I mean, there's,
or like the first Dynamite of the year. Fuck it.
I don't even know where to go from here. Like, as far as what next would be to do with Shida. Like, I mean, especially because, like, her role as far as what they do with her is so limited, so small. Like,
did you catch the pre-show?
You're talking about Allison Kay and Serena Deeb?
Yes,
that was another match that I was like, oh, 3-star match.
Okay, no, well, after that, Thunder Rosa came back out, so she may be around, like, more. So, like, seems like there's something going on here.
Yeah. Okay. I think I'll ask you something off air later. But yeah, like, between Serena and if Serena can get a title match, why not? I love to see Thunder Rosa and Shida again. That's. I think those two would be good title challengers. But yeah, I really don't have anything else to say. The what do you think of what do you think of what they're doing with Vicky and Nyla?
I think it's horrible. I think Vicky is she's a relic of a
But you see where they're headed with this, right?
She slapped her, so it's like, right. I don't know what you're getting at, but
they're about to turn her face by beating the shit out of Vicky.
I guess.
Where else was it going to go? She's going to be an obedient monster.
I guess, yeah.
She's going to turn on. Like, it's going to be one slap too many at some point down the line, and she's going to pick her up and slam her or some shit like that, and then she'll turn her face off of, standing up for herself.
Yeah.
I don't know how long it's going to take, but it seems like the track.
Yeah, I would say, like, it seems like a handicap on Nyla Rose's entire act. Nyla Rose felt like radically out of place, I think, on this show, just because. So I figured out the reason. I figured out the reason we haven't seen her. So apparently, Vicky Guerrero could not travel. Like, she wasn't available for much of this build, so they didn't bring Nyla in because that's her act. Which I'm like, I guess, but she was not able to make it to like, she had a personal, something for, like, schedule conflict, something like that.
Okay, so this is what I'll ask you, right? Nyla was on Dynamite last week, right?
Yes.
and she had a very good squash match where she destroyed Red Velvet, right?
Yep.
She couldn't have done that no other weeks. She couldn't have done that 2 or 3 times during this cycle on TV where she just has entertaining squash match. She beats the shit out of some woman. That couldn't have happened. Not possible.
I guess they were trying to protect like that, her and Vicky as, together or whatever. But, so after that, we got the AEW World Tag Team title match. We got the Young Bucks versus FTR. Young Bucks pick up the championships finally, after, they should have had them bitches, a while ago. When you're only one of the, 2 or 3 best acts in the company history, it's about time, these boys can get, rewarded here. Yeah, I love this. I thought, from the second, like, they came out with the Lakers colors, I was like, those are Lakers colors. And then it crystallized when FTR came out in those green and white, jumpsuits. And I was like, so I actually sent a text to Swerve at the time. I was like, this is the shit fans pop for. Like, I was like, this is shit, because you can tell they thought about this shit. And it's like, that old Celtic ass tag team versus this Showtime ass tag team. Like, I'm with it. So, yeah, I love this. I thought it was a great match. It was like, I thought they did like this history of tag team wrestling type thing. And it was like, you wanted to see these guys in the ring together for so long. You finally saw it. And I thought they just had a great match. And, I think some people like it a little bit more than I did.
A lot more than I did. Don't say a little bit, a lot more than you did.
I'm not going to begrudge them for it, because I can see how they got there, because like the anticipation of this finally happening, it being a great match, a really great match, the aesthetics, and I think the build, like, kind of it seemed like just everything that could go wrong did. And then when something finally didn't go wrong, like, it was like showered in love, I feel like.
Yeah, it was a great match. But I don't think it's I don't think it's a 5-star match by any means. I know you think it's close. It's just, I thought it was a great match. Maybe it was because I was expecting more, because, and then ultimately, you see these 2 tag teams and then you compare them to the previous matches, and I'm just like thinking of their other matches. I'm just like, I've seen like a dozen Young Bucks matches better than this. I've seen like half a dozen FTR/Revival matches better than this. And then like, ultimately, I think this comes down to like, if you pop for the fan service of, oh, look at them spam every tag team under the sun's moves on each other and to kick out of, then like I quite frankly envy you, because it's like, me just watch it's like, okay, they did a move and then they kicked out of it. I'm like, all right, cool. But it were like necessarily big moves. Like, it just didn't work for me in that way. I just saw it, and it also makes me think of like other matches where, like, quite frankly, has been done by the Young Bucks and done a lot better, like their match with Kenny and Hangman. So it's just, for me, it's like, it's cool, but like, I then also made me think of like other matches that were, matches where it's like, why did you spam other people's finishes and shit? And it made me think of like the greatest match ever with Edge and Orton. I'm just like, I don't necessarily know the point for all of this, especially when, like, Matt has his bad knee, and then, like, come and going with the selling, and that's par for the course. But like, what I don't understand is like, why did the homie Bald punch the post and then like he's bleeding out of the side of his hand? What? What? Okay. You don't need to blade for punching the post. We understand that hurts. But if you do blade, why are you blading where your hand didn't even fucking come close to touching? It was weird. It'd be like if you headbutted the post and then you bladed your ear. It's like, what? What are you doing? And then there was.
I didn't know he bladed the hand. Like, I thought he like caught it like, in some, way of during having the match. Like, because like it looked like it came down to the hand versus the foot. Like, and one guy's like hand like was fucked up. The guy with the fists, couldn't, quite, throw that punch. And this guy with the bad ankle couldn't quite do the super kick, and they were neutralized.
Yeah, there was also the spot where they did the. It's not a James Boy spot. 'Cause it's not the same exact move at the same time. For
this man has finally acknowledged.
But what they did was one throws the punch with the bad hand, the other one Matt throws the punch with the bad foot, and they connect to each other. I was just, it's like, oh god, that's a double down. All right, fine, whatever. But yeah, it was a lot of stuff where I'm watching it the first time through, and like these aren't. Like, I watched it again to try to be like, look, man, so many people love this match. So, there's got to be something.
I bet a lot of the listeners have loved this match, and I love it too. Like, I just didn't give it 5 stars. I give it 4.5. So
I gave it 4.25.
I don't know about that, but
bro,
if you want to not like, some Floyd said in the chat, if you want to pick the match apart, you can. Like, you fully can. Like, I don't know. It's just, it felt like I thought what's his name was great.
Here's the thing, Rich. Which match
Cash
is better?
Wheeler.
Here's my question for you, Rich. What's the better match? What's the best match of the
night? Kenny and Hangman.
Were they close? Like, were they? Should they get the same rating? While one was just slightly better, or was one a quarter star better than the other?
I said one is a quarter star better than the other.
You gave the Kenny match 4 3/4. I gave 4.5. So by definition, I'm giving it 4.25. And then I also look at the matches. I have that list of stuff I've rated or whatever else. I look at the list of 4.25 matches, and I'm looking at them like, yep, that match is better. That match is better. That match is better. That match is not better. That match is not better. That match is not better. It's like right in the middle of the 4.25 star matches I've given out. And keep in mind, like, a lot of those G1 matches that like Meltzer and whatever else, I think it's a byproduct of me being like desensitized from watching all that fucking G1, all that A block. Where like I saw matches that people were giving like 5 stars. I'm like, oh, that's 4.5. Oh, that's whatever. Like I gave the Okada and Shingo match 4.25. People think it's like the best match of the tournament. A lot of people think it's the best match of the tournament. Like that's maybe I've ruined myself. I don't know for the time being. I don't know. But I'm watching that match. It was like I felt like they wrestled like the first half of it. Like basically, you can skip through that match. You're like, all right, I want to watch the great wrestling. All right, well, like skip until they hit the Stardom Brothers spot, and then he does the Big E tackle through the ropes. Like that's when the match is going at full, or not even full gear, because I can't even say it's full gear. Like, there's so many Young Buck matches I like more than this, as far as like they kick into full gear and kick ass. Like, I feel like every Lucha Bro match I've seen them have has kicked this match's ass. I just do, and like, I don't know, but
I think Nick Jackson was great in this match. I think Cash Wheeler was phenomenal in this match. I don't know what he's.
Which one is which? Because I always forget. Which one is
Cash Wheeler? Cash Wheeler is the one with the hair.
Okay, yeah, hair was the better one. Yeah.
And it comes down to like Tully not being out there with him, and then he's like, "I'll show y'all little fuckers a flip. I'm gonna show you how to do a flip, bitch," and it immediately leads him to fucking losing. Like, like I loved it. Like, so
he hit a 450 splash, hit them, but Matt, and then got kicked in the face. Like I wasn't expecting this match. Like I was expecting like them go out there and like kill it.
They wanted to do a midnight or a Brainbusters Rockers match. They wanted to do a midnight rock and roll match. It seemed like they wanted to do that and then throw in the tag team history stuff and then ultimately throw in their foot versus hand deal and a couple near falls here, and then the ultimate. All right, I'm gonna do the flip, and then I don't know. In a weird way, it's a storytelling match. So
no, it is a storytelling match, but it's like if you're going to. But that's the reason why I don't like it as much as everybody else does. Like if you're going to do a storytelling match, what is this? How do you connect the selling of the foot in the hand, the kicks in the fist, with you spamming everybody else under the sun's finishers? I don't see the connection. Like, I just don't. And for me, it's like, it just left me cold. But, and then there's also like, the one thing that pissed me off the most about this match was, it goes beyond the fist blading thing. Matt gets balled in a sharpshooter. Bald immediately grabs the rope. The ref sees it. Matt yanks him off of the rope. And he doesn't break. He's just like, all right, well, you're still at risk to tap out. I'm like, wait, what? And then what makes it worse is Jim Ross on commentary points out that like, yeah, that's fucking stupid. Break the hold. And while they're trying to sell as if like, this could be the end, I'm like, it can't be. It literally cannot be. That should have been a rope break. It was just weird. Like, there were so many things that happened in this match. It's like, I didn't feel like this was the best Young Bucks or FTR I've ever seen as far as them working in the ring. I didn't feel like the story was some super compelling thing. I'm still left cold by like trying to connect any of the storytelling elements they did with their actual build in the ring, aside from the injuries that they decided to selectively sell. So it's like, and then I see it goes for. People are saying this shit is like a 5+ star match. That's the reason I rewatched it. And I rewatched it, I'm like, I still feel the same way about it. And I feel like,
well, what did you like about it?
Huh?
What did you like about it? I don't think we got there.
I liked, what did I like? It wasn't a bad match. It wasn't a bad match at all. Like, it's just, I do not like it as much as everybody else, and I'm trying to figure out what they did necessarily that made this so awesome as opposed to a good match. Oh, I know, actually, really tell you. These guys hate each other. These guys hate each other. They've been building for this for 5 months, and then, like, they go out there and have a normal soft style lucha match that the Young Bucks do. And it's like, okay, so much for the all this build of you hate each other guts so much. Y'all, nobody brawled, nobody like beat the shit out of each other. It was the same, like they could have had that same match walking in, aside from the selling of Matt's foot, and they could have had the same exact match and had the same exact result. We didn't need to wait 5 months for this. Gotcha. I think that's really the main thing. Is like I waited 5 months for this, and this is what I get.
All right.
What are you saying?
I was like, so nothing. So you don't like anything about the match? I got you.
No, it's just like I don't. It's for me. It's a very good match. It's a great match. I'm giving it 4.25. And as we decided, like 4.25 for me at this point, like I'm worse than a fucking grapple user. So like a 4.25, like yeah, I can easily see the case 4.5, like you gave it. But like I don't see this 5.25, 5.5 shit. Even though I don't even believe in that shit, I'm just like whatever, Meltzer, go off, like, do your thing, shoot your shots. But like I do not see this as a 5-star match. And like I don't know, maybe it's just like I don't know, but like the build pissed me off because it got so stupid at the end. I feel like from a perspective of, I feel like this whole thing is damaging, and then like for it to be damaged or for it to justify it by they save it in the ring, it has to be. It has, we talked about this last week. It has to be greater than great, and like this is just great. And I was like, okay, well, all right, it was great, but
well. We got the Young Bucks with the belts now. The belts are where they belong.
Hope they can wrestle these bros again. Show them what a real 5-star tag match is.
So we don't have to worry about, as I told everybody, the Bucks will win. This is, they're not gonna not challenge for the belts anymore. They did a a funny championship celebration. So they were like another LA team winning the championship in 2020. So they had the championship shirts and the hats, and they played on BT like, someone else put it on Twitter. They had the sparkling Welch's grape, are they carbonated joint? Yeah, they don't drink or smoke or anything. So they had the it all taped up in the locker room so they could really, have fun with it, and the goggles and shit. And that's where you saw Hangman not there, and then walking down the hallway, like looking in the room around the corner, noticing everybody else in there going fucking nuts. It's SCU, it's Kenny, and the Bucks losing it. So, and also at the end of this match, Kenny comes out to celebrate with these guys. Right. Hangman pops his ass up in the tunnel, and you kind of see him sulking over there, wanting to come out, but not really, and just, being broken. And, what you got on the Hangman, James? Do you feel sorry for the Hangman?
No, he did it all to himself. Like, this is the same thing we were talking about with Sam last weekend. It was like, bro, I understand that, but like, all you gotta do to stop fucking up is just like decide that you're not gonna fuck up no more, and you'll be good. Like, I don't understand why this sucker, like, I don't know, like, maybe I am, who doesn't? I think the Tin Man doesn't have a heart, and, Wisdom of Oz. Maybe it's like, bro, I don't feel for you. You're a dumbass. Your friends were your friends, and then you screwed them over because it was all in your head. They didn't do anything to you. You just screwed over your friends, and then like, I feel bad for you. Nah, man, put down the fuck. Like your friends told you, stop fucking drinking and come out here and start kicking ass.
The fans did not feel bad for him in the opener either.
And like, clearly, or not clearly, I'm not gonna say clearly, but it seems like we're headed towards him trying to get redemption. I don't know, cause I just don't know what else is there to do with him right now, unless he's gonna,
I'll tell you this. There was a guy that cut a promo during the pay-per-view with Jake the Snake Roberts that is looking for somebody, and I can think of putting Hangman with him and having him want to, beat Hangman's ass really bad, and that snaps him out of this drunken stupor, and he's got to fight for his fucking life.
Yeah, there's that. I mean, I'm still trying to figure out how do you get to where they got, seeing that was such a thing that they had to get there, where they have to have Hangman. Or they didn't have to do it, but like apparently they pulled that trigger where they had him screw over the Young Bucks, right? After all of them, because he didn't want to fight him again. After even though he just beat him. I don't know if they should have did the thing where it wasn't FTR, it was all Hangman's fault. Like, if it was FTR that was like influencing him, then maybe you could like move them and make them a faction now. If you don't pull that lever where they say, nah, you did this on your own, you're just a dumbass. Like, you could do, he finally moves on completely to FTR, and they're, a faction or whatever else for the time being, and then like over time you can, we could be like, man, that's just evil FTR. They was playing mind games. They had mind control over Debo, right? And then eventually, like, you could redeem Hangman, but Hangman pulled his lever on his own because he's a dumbass, and now it's like, I don't know what to do with this dumbass. That boy just dumb. I have no sympathy for him. And I don't know how you fix this now that he's out there by himself, and like maybe if Kenny starts being mean to him or whatever else, and starts being an asshole to him, that'll get people to act, or that'll get me to be like, all right, well, maybe, I understand, but like, bro, you've let this shit chill for like a couple months now, and now you want to be a dick to him now that you beat him. That's some sucker shit. But like, now it's like, I don't know how you get to the part where like now you're supposed to. I don't get the redemption arc as far as all four of them. I feel like somebody has to turn heel. It looks like Kenny. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know, but we'll see.
So we got Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara in the Elite Deletion match. This went way too long. had the wrong winner. Lots and lots of just shit. It should have been goofier, for one. You have fucking Gangrel out there. You have fucking Hurricane Helms. Some of the stuff they were doing with the Mud Show in the mud and the competition in the mud, you love to see it. Like it's under a Brian Alvarez Twitter post. That was funny. But I felt like they should have leaned into the comedy more. But they made this thing absolutely brutal at the end. And like Sammy Guevara got put in a garbage can like he was being shipped back to OVW or something. Like I don't understand how this helps him. I was pissed. I'm like, why is he losing to Matt Hardy in 2020? What?
I don't care. I thought the match sucked. It was just so stupid. It's like he pulls up in, I think it's a Gixxer. He pulls up in a golf cart, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, this fucking monster truck that was like 20 feet away from me just like snuck up on me. How the fuck does a monster truck sneak up on you? And then it's like, I understand it's a stupid Hardy match, so I'm not supposed to use my brain, but it's like, I don't want to have to do that, like, to watch this. Like, this is dumb. And then, like, by the time they get to, the ring that's outside, like the AEW ring, was like, why is there AEW ring in the on the campus, and there's another ring in the back because we've seen it in the back 1,000 times, and they end up going to the back. Anyway, by the time that happens, the, Santana and Ortiz pull up on the Hardy compound, and then, like, so then I guess he throws up the bat signal and sends them the call to Private Party. Private Party, they get the call, they in a car, you can see through the windshield of the car that they're right next to the fucking, monster truck. So it's like, so y'all just saw him almost try to kill Sammy, and y'all didn't get out to see what the fuck was going on. Y'all just chilling. What? There's brawling around. There's nonsense with Roman candles going off. Gangrel shows up. Shane Helm shows up. There's a Lake of Reincarnation, whatever.
I wanted him to come back as a member of 3 Count, but
that would have been funny. Maybe he doesn't have the hair to pull it off no more. So
get him a wig. Shit.
So then, like, all this funny, wacky stuff is happening. So it's like, okay, like, this funny, wacky match, I don't have to pay much mind of it. And then
it wasn't wacky enough for me, though.
Then once they lock it in, they go into the actual the hanger deal that man has.
The dome of deletion.
Whatever the fuck he calls it. I don't know. Whatever. He'll call it something else next week. I don't know. All of a sudden, like, once they lock, it was just one-on-one, those two plus the ref.
The match gets like dead serious at that point.
They start playing these dark ass tones or whatever else after the goofy stuff, and then it turns to a fucking massacre and all this blood and fake blood. There's a crash pad spot that's obvious. And it's like, so he just murdered this dude after goofing around with him for like, I don't know how long that match
threw him away.
How long did the match go?
It went 1939. It went longer than like every singles match on the show. It went longer than.
So after they go basically like 16 minutes doing goofy shit, the flip gets scripted in the last 3 minutes. They're out here doing, heads bashing off concrete spots or trying to fake you and believing they happen to recreate what happened at the last pay-per-view that they did in AEW on that happened that thing where me and a man almost died, and then like he can church or he puts a chair or he basically bashes his head, the back of his head when his head was up against the concrete. He's laid out and kills him. And it's like, why did I get a goofy light match? All of a sudden I got this like murder scene like 3 minutes on at the drop of a dime. Like the tones like switch was just ridiculous. And it's like, I don't know what you do with this. Like, if you turn, I don't know what happens after this. Like, they just need to not wrestle each other ever again. And you just just call it a day. I don't know what to do with this. Like, I'm never going to watch that again. I'm good.
It's like,
thank you.
I don't know what you do with Sammy from here. And it's like, people were saying he can come back like he's like under Matt's spell. But I'm like, Matt's not doing the gimmick. So, like, what the fuck? Like, I don't, I don't get it. Like, I don't know why. I thought this was horrible. This was crap. This was a stain on the show. You drop this and then, like, there's not much to complain about.
Especially when they did it, because it's like, you're prolonging the main event. Now we're in, like, we're like, oh, this is going to go till 12 o'clock, isn't it? That's one of those. It's like, it didn't need to do that. Like, this could have been a 3.5 hour show. We go off air. Fantastic. Like, some of these matches, while none of these matches were bad, except for this one, quite frankly, didn't need to make the card. Like, you could have put Silver in Silver in Orange Cassidy on a Dynamite. I understand why you did it. I don't necessarily blame you, but like, once we get to like the 3 hour mark, it's like, all right, we gotta look back on this and be like, how do we get to 3 hours and how do we cut down? Like, I don't want to watch 4 hour pay-per-views. Just don't. Like, unless they're incredible from start to finish, I do not want to watch 4 hour pay-per-views. I don't want to watch a 4 hour pay-per-view and have 4 great matches. It was like, okay, so I got a great match an hour. Is that worth it 4 hours?
So, think about it like this. They got a large roster. They've got only 4 pay-per-views a year.
Yeah.
Most times, people struggling to get on every for 2 hours at a time. So, this is kind of like when they get to show out a little bit. So,
so the women's match was essential. It had to be on there. The women's title match had to be on there, right? This is a title match.
Yeah.
What else had to be on there? Like, okay, so the four great matches we got. So the number 1 contender match, the tag title match, the world title match, the women's match, and MJF Jericho, right? Is there anything else that was essential?
I think you could have stood to lose the Elite Deletion match.
Yep,
you could have stood to lose. I like Cassidy and Silver on there, so
I did. I absolutely do, and I understand why they put it on there, but it wasn't essential. Like, they pulled that shit out their ass like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't have a problem with it. I didn't feel like the show was too long. I just felt like this match was too long. Everything else I was fine with.
For me, I felt like the Young Bucks match went too long. It could have been a 15. Not 15. It could have, instead of being 28 minutes, it could have been like 23 minutes. It could have cut 5 minutes off of it. And then I felt that way while watching it. And then we keep going, and it's like, and then I get that shitty match after that. It's like, I just saw a great match that I felt went too long. And then I watched this, I'm like, fuck, there's still the main event. Luckily, the main event wasn't that long, but still, it was like, this didn't, it's just me. But anyway, it's still a great show, but it's like, all right, let's get to the main event.
Well, we got MJF and Chris Jericho next.
Oh,
MJF.
Shit, I forgot about that. Holy shit. Ugh.
Snuck it right in there on you. Yeah.
That can't be good. I completely forgot about the match.
Yep. So, MJF and Chris Jericho. Chris Jericho works as a babyface. He was selling. I could tell immediately. I was like, oh my God, he's doing his babyface selling. Yep. He's being the babyface in this match.
Well, he had to be. They were going to cheer for MJF over Chris Jericho.
Right. It was kind of admirable. Like, he did the Hurricane run off the top rope, and he was trying his best. But MJF ended up getting a win. MJF's in the inner circle now. Mm-hmm. I gave this like 3.25. Like, it was like, okay, it was a basic match, but yeah, if MJF's joined the inner circle, I don't think you want these guys to kill each other. And the finish was kind of funny. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this man figured it out. But what'd you think of this, James? Now that you don't remember it.
Okay, so they did the Eddie Guerrero lie, state, chill spot, or lie, cheat, thought I said it, lie, cheat, chill. But, yeah, they did that spot, and how did he pinned him off some bullshit? How did he pin him? I forgot.
He did the lie, cheat, steal spot. MJF
Right.
takes the bump. Aubrey's like, what the fuck just happened?
Right.
He turns towards her like, no, I didn't do this shit. MJF like rolled schoolboys him and beats him.
Ah, okay. Okay. Did he pull tights?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, like this, it was a match I'd probably just give 3 flat or 3 1/4 too, but yeah, it was alright. At that point in time, I was tired, I guess. Like, that match wasn't that good. The match was good, but it wasn't like I expected MJF pay-per-view match to be a little bit better than that. Like, I wanted the 3 3/4. That's what I wanted. I just didn't get it.
Chris Jericho lost every match on pay-per-view this year.
Yeah. And remember when last year I said I thought it was asinine and people thought that Cody was the AEW Wrestler of the Year. I thought it was Jericho, and the reason why is like he is setting the table for all these people to have their biggest moments. And like Cody just has to worry about himself, rightfully so. And you look at the year, and Cody was a champion and wrestled a lot of guys and gave guys big looks as well in 2020. But Jericho gave MJF so much this year.
He bought to give him his faction.
Right. Jericho gave Moxley so much this year, and what might be the feud of the year in all of wrestling. It was a continuation, and I feel like they got the belt off Jericho at the perfect time. The perfect time.
And why is that?
Oh, your boy Jericho. This is 2017 Triple H, like right now. Like we
is this the end?
like he come out, like he still lay out a great match. He can still.
I felt like I saw it last night. I felt like I saw the blueprint.
Right, you saw a
great Jericho
layout
match I've seen a million times.
Right. But just physically, he's lost something, and I don't know if he can ever get it back.
Will to work out, the will to not drink.
Yeah, like Josh was talking about how, like, he's not washed because he's Josh Smith from Keepin It Strong Style. He's like, he's not washed because like he can get into shape and like get it right back. And my point is like,
maybe he could. Would you bet on it happening now? Because I would not.
so, like, yeah, sure, but effectively it don't really matter. Like, if it's not going to change, it's not going to change. Washed. And he's been, ever since that first, his last real kick-ass match, like the first Orange Cassidy match, and ever since then,
right.
So I don't know what happened over the summer, but it was finito since then. Like, he cannot, or it appears he cannot.
It comes and it goes.
Yeah, I guess so. We'll see. Like, it's been a while since he's been able to, for it to come. It's been going lately, bitch.
It's for sale. We got it for cheap. Yeah, so up next, main event, we had the I Quit match for the AEW World Title. Jon Moxley versus Eddie Kingston. Jon Moxley gets the win. Beats the shit out of Eddie Kingston.
They beat the shit out of each other. I just thought
Eddie Kingston beat the shit out of him too, yes.
Yeah. I just thought about a spot in the Moxley match where Moxley gets rammed headfirst to the post, and the camera follows along Kingston, and then when they cut back, Moxley's forehead is bleeding, and I thought to myself, and I just thought about like what we talked about earlier with the Young Bucks match, like how come his ear wasn't bleeding? I can't even just now. I'm like, Jon Moxley in with that bullshit.
So,
like the spot that's supposed to be hurt is what bleeds when it hits the post. This is fucking simple. All right, we can go ahead.
So Eddie Kingston ends up quitting. He shows up in his Masawa tribute gear.
Yes.
Of course, this confused some simpletons on the on the internet who said he was dressed like a Power Ranger. Like, no.
It was clearly silver, it wasn't white.
Excalibur clearly told you on commentary that he was, doing this as an ode to Masawa.
Did he? I didn't even.
He said that on the show.
That makes it even worse because it's like,
yes.
one, they, when he first showed up in the black and yellow, they immediately pointed out the Kawada stuff, right?
Yep.
So then if you throw out the fact that the motherfucker is going to come out in silver and green after that, you're like, oh, that's motherfucking, it's fucking Masawa. It's very simple. Like one of these days he'll come out here in the orange, you'd be like, oh, okay. I don't get,
we could have all these dudes dress up in these cartoon motherfuckers and that's just the greatest thing ever, but you dress up as a great wrestler, it just don't compute for some. But yeah, this was a war. This was art. This was like the very end sequence where he puts Kingston to face the hard camera. Kingston knows it's a wrap. He ain't going nowhere. He's done. In defiance, he throws up the middle finger and is like, fucking beat me. And he was like, Moxley's like, all right, they've been fucking around with this barbed wire for, a couple minutes at a time. Mox has the barbed wire wrapped around his own forearm and is like, Eddie knows it's coming. He puts him in that fucking choke that he told him he was going to fucking do to him. The same one he beat him with before, but worse this time. And you see Eddie Kingston and his friend, Bryce Remsburg, who was put there to ref the match because of the talking segment they did before, and he reffed the previous match.
Right.
He's grabbing Bryce, crying, he's like, it's just beautiful. Like, it's like, he's crying, and then it's like, he's going to quit, but he doesn't want to, but he just fucking quits at the end, and then it's like, fuck, he has to quit at that point. He's done. This was so great. I don't know what I'm rating it. I'm in between 4 1/4 and 4.5, like 4.3. But this was just like, it was violent, it was brutal. Mox, this is a Mox match. Like he loves playing with the toys, and the violence, and the tax. He gave this man some alcohol. How nice of Eddie Kingston, to, in this age of COVID to, go out of his way to protect Moxley, with the rubbing alcohol on him. So, but yeah, man, this was great. Another great, world title match, for Mox, and baby, a feud of the year contender here. Eddie Kingston's going to be a huge baby face. You fell in love with Eddie Kingston by the end of this match. If you didn't, I don't know what you watched.
Yeah, it was a great match. I think I like the Brody match a little more, but other than that, I think that's his. Aside from that match, I think this was his best title defense so far. And he got the main event, and do it. So that was really cool. Watching the alcohol spot, I was like, I popped because me, Rich, I keep that thing on me at all times. Ever since COVID came along, I've kept a spray bottle, filled with alcohol, to, wipe down or to spray on my phone, or not on
wipe me down,
but spray onto a cloth, wipe down my phone, or spray on my wallet or keys, whatever else, when I get back in from wherever I have to go. So I thought that I thought it was pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, man, just they beat the crap out of each other. The text came out, and the one spot where he after getting the alcohol, like, because he's like, what do I have to do to get you to fucking quit? He used alcohol, doesn't work. So he's like, all right, I'll grab some of these tacks, and he just slaps him over the fucking forehead with tacks. I was like, God, these two. Like, I'm sure we'll get it in his title defense against Omega, but I'm still of two thoughts. Like, I don't, I don't really like these kinds of matches that much, but like, I do enjoy the thought that are put into them by Moxley, and that's what I can appreciate most out of them.
Yeah,
like, the escalation of violence makes sense. Like, the part where, like, they have a relationship, so they really don't want to do this to each other, but they have to get where they want to get to. They get to their, the unjustified means or whatever. So yeah, it was. I wonder what's going to happen for Kingston in the future. It's there. It was like, got a lot of people, like, with Wardlow is there, with Sammy Guevara is there, as far as, like, you could turn them face at some point and they'll do very fucking well, but you don't know when out it's timed out and where it's going to go. And, like, Kingston's got here, that'd be too soon, obviously, but, like,
is it though? Because, like, if Pac comes back and calls him a fucking quitter, and that immediately, like, Eddie Kingston, like, I ain't no fucking quitter, and then, Eddie Kingston's faction actually turns back on him or whatever, and they go back with Pac. There's a turn back to babyface right there. Like, all a heel has to do is call Eddie Kingston a quitter.
I think there has to be a two-part to that. Like, for AEW anyway. Like, if this were WWE, like, him getting his ass would be enough, right? but
he could just walk out as babyface like nothing happened.
Oh, all right. Like, you switched brands, so you're a babyface now? Okay. Like, glad you're here, Charlotte. But yeah, I maybe a situation where, like, Pac gets a title shot or something. Like, that happens, he gets ejected, he makes a save for Moxie or whatever else. Like, Moxie might have to help redeem this man, but we'll see. But yeah, like, really fun match. I want to see him wrestle, Archer and Brody Lee in the future, and, like, now that neither one of the, all of them kind of seem out of the title picture right now. They've lost their title shots, whatever else. Like, it's time for this Hawks division to get back up and running. Like, I've kind of been seeing, like,
or shunt them down to Darby.
Why can't I just get two big dudes, like, wrestle on pay-per-view and it doesn't involve Jake Hager? Why can't I get that on pay-per-view? Why can't I get, the end goal is to put two large human beings in a wrestling ring, and they go out there and beat the crap of each other, and we build it for months? Like, why can't we do that? Is it against the rules in AEW?
I don't know.
Does Tony Khan think that won't draw? Because there's overwhelming history of professional wrestling says that you put two big dudes in the ring and they can talk well and they look like it can be a real fight and it can be physical, it can draw. I don't know. And also, the 31 flavors of variety or whatever else, it don't really kind of have that kind of thing, or haven't had that much of that sort of thing yet.
So after the match, Kenny walks out there, kind of like New Japan, and lets them know, I'm coming for you.
And he said he did like a coward. He's like,
hey, clear this shit up because I ain't wrestling in this shit.
He's like, nah, we did that before. You whooped my ass. We're not doing that again. It was funny.
Clean this shit up.
That shit had me hollering. It's like at certain times, like, yes,
no,
right. You want to smoke with Depot again? No, but it was funny to me because it's like, we know that ultimately Hangman is supposed to be the person you cheer for, but it's kind of the way they've done it is like, nah, you're not. If you paid attention and you just only watch Dynamite, it's like, nah, Hangman, like, Kenny Omega's one of been screwed over, and yes, he's acting like a dick, but when it comes to the personal relationship between those two, the person that did all the wrong was Hangman, not Kenny Omega. So that's how you feel on one end. And then Kenny comes out and is like, oh yeah, I'm finna title shot with you, and I do not want to fight you, and I do not want to fight you any way, shape, or form, and I only want to fight you in one particular way. It's like, okay, like, yes, without the Hangman thing, he is a heel, clearly. This is why it's funny to me. It's like, this dude's an asshole, except for, like, his one guy that's supposed to get cheered is the real asshole.
Like, all Kenny wants to do is fight fair, have a good traditional grappling contest,
Oh, it's gonna happen.
Look, if that makes him the bad guy,
look,
man.
That man
rules
was like,
different.
That man, look, you saw them two go out there and show pure heart, pure spirit, right? On the mat, left it all on the mat, blood, sweat, tears, and rubbing alcohol. And
clean that shit up.
And Kenny comes out there and is like, I want no parts. I do not want to show you how, I do not want to show you how, hold on. I do not want to show you how tough I am. We already did that. He whooped my ass. Now I want to lawyer this shit up. It's just funny to me.
We gonna keep it nice and clean. We gonna have an athletic competition. We gonna see who's the best.
Break on 5.
Yeah. Well, yeah, great show.
Yeah.
A lot of people are good. It's going to get some votes.
Oh, from show to year?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. I'd have to look over. This is probably the best AEW pay per view, which is weird because of this year, which is weird because like I feel like I like Revolution more, but that might have been just because of the tag match. I don't know.
Man, so I Revolution
and
had like
the title change,
and that tag match, and Orange Cassidy,
yeah,
and it was like this feeling, the crowd, and it was like this crazy feeling with the show. Like everything was peaking around that time. Like it was so hot. Like coming off the Atlanta show, the Kansas City show, and it was like,
and it was set up for the New York show.
Yeah, like it was. Revolution is like holds a very special place.
Yeah. Like I mean, like I watch a ton of it, and like there are a bunch of things to check out. But like, I feel like when we do the year-end review shows for like Stardom, AEW, WWE, New Japan, it's all gonna come back to, and even the awards you gotta talk about, like, or the IWC awards, like. The pandemic has kicked so much of this wrestling's ass. Like a lot of this stuff, I feel like. I think another thing with the that Young Bucks match, like I feel like if that match is in front of more people, in front of a full crowd,
people are going
fucking insane. Meanwhile, like it's a mostly empty arena, and I'm just like, Like I feel like if you went out there in the Suzuki and shingled it up, that would have been more effective. But I just kind of like seeing you beat shit at each other. But whatever. Yeah, but it's a great show. It's a great show, and I'd have to look at the Revolution card though. But like, maybe it probably has more.
I think if you lay it on paper, this is going to smoke Revolution.
I think it is. Like, I think it is too, and that's what I'm saying. Like, it's just a feeling. It just feels
that feeling in the air, like with Revolution, like that shit. Like,
yeah.
You ain't gonna get that back every day. Like it kind of oddly felt like Double or Nothing, because that was one that where they really built to, like, you got to see the full first build, like, because the Full Gear last year was 6 weeks after Dynamite kicked off, and then after that we got like a full cycle, and it just felt like everything was peaking at that time. Yeah,
and then you throw in like, I feel like the two best storylines they've done. And 3. And 4. Not because the Cody match was on there too, right? Cody and MJF?
Cody and MJF.
Like, bro, like 3 of their 4 best storylines took place at Revolution. Like Hangman and Kenny versus Young Bucks. That's up there. Cody and Jericho would be one of the top 4. Moxie versus the Inner Circle is another of the top 4.
You mean Cody and MJF?
Yeah. No, I mean like Cody and Jericho, Cody and MJF are two of the 4. Yeah. Then the other 2 would be the Young Bucks or the Elite fighting each other, and then Moxley versus Jericho. Like, those are the 3 best storylines they've told in AEW so far. And 3 of them took place on Revolution. So, like, maybe that's the reason why I felt like, you know, it felt better, while also recognizing, like, nah, the wrestling wasn't as good top to bottom.
Mm-hmm. So what we got next? Oh, Power Struggle, New Japan. Yeah. Let's take the jet over to the land of the rising sun real quick, Osaka. Because I got to get off something proper that it feels like I don't feel like many people about to say. I don't know if people are afraid to say it. I don't know if people just like don't want to say it, but we've got 2 Tokyo Domes, January 4th and 5th. Yep. Again, this shit that they're doing with Ibushi is absolute horseshit as a build. If you think last year was bad, as Tetsuya Naito loses his way through the G1, loses his way in the block final, doesn't make it to the G1 final, somehow beats Taichi, and that gets him into, you know, the double gold dash. Fine. Let it ride. Cool. We know it doesn't make sense. However, you love him. I can live with that. Even though, you know, if anyone else did that, come on. We know what it is. But this year, Kota Ibushi, the G1 winner, loses his briefcase to Jay White. Jay White beats him by a backslide with some feet on the ropes.
Yep.
The shit that I've seen Kota Ibushi kick out of.
Right.
over the years.
Well, hold on.
Here's the tough wars.
Here's the bell I'll give it. It's not much bell, but I'm assuming this is what the story was. During the match, Jay White worked over Ibushi's ribs in midsection. So, you could make the argument that he couldn't roll out because his core was fucked up. I'm with you, Rich. I'm fully on your camp. I'm just telling you what to expect from the other side. Okay. I'm with you.
So after that, Ibushi loses his briefcase.
Yep.
Then, it's all set up.
Have you seen it? Have you seen the pin?
Yes, I saw the pin.
Did you hear the audio?
Would you like to explain?
Oh my fucking... Bro. When he got rolled up... when he got hit with that backslide, and then you see Jay White climbing higher and higher and higher on each rope until he gets to the top rope with both his feet for leverage. And then the mat, and then I think it was Red Shoes. Red Shoes hits 3. The crowd let out a audible roar of shock / disgust / confusion. And then, like, all in that second when it all came out, keep in mind, like, you know, this is Japan, this is Osaka, and this is New Japan. They clap. That's all they do. That's all they do is clap and stomp. They let that out. They couldn't believe what they fucking saw. And then just as soon as that all came out in like that 1 second, they all realized, oh my God, we're not supposed to make noise. And then it got quiet again. It was amazing. It was amazing. I was like, it was, you know what? It reminds me a lot of when Brock beat Undertaker at WrestleMania 30, where just except on like 2 times speed, where it's like the loud, oh my God, it came, and then like the crowd gets silent and shocked. Like you get so instead of like it going over the span of, I don't know, what was it, like 15, 20 seconds when it went to silence, it happened in like 2 whole seconds. It was shocking. It was like, it was hilarious to listen to. It was like, they were like, whoa! Okay, my bad. That's kind of how they all acted. And, you know, I'm with you. Like, another part about it, Ibushi after the 3 count, he gets up and like, he looks like he's shocked / he still wants to fight Jay White / he doesn't know what to do because he's a fucking loser. It was hilarious. You have to see the whole like 20 seconds between like the backslide and then like Kota's reaction. He don't even know what to do with himself. I was like, you fucking loser. You fucking loser.
Then he does the run-in in the main event, which we'll get to in a little bit. They do a little angle, but it ultimately comes down to this press conference where Naito then announces he wants to challenge Kota Ibushi on January 4th. So out of the kindness of his heart, he wants to offer this buffoon a title match. This is the dumbest shit I've ever seen. They threw a bucket of water or ice on Kota Ibushi going into the damn thing just because they have 2 matches to do. We saw Jay White and Kota Ibushi stink the fucking dome out this year. I don't understand how this is any kind of good booking. If any other company under the sun did this, they would be crucified.
I don't know about crucified, but it'd be ridiculed. Definitely.
I don't want to hear shit about Best Booker anymore. I don't know what happened to the dude. Look, when they came back from New Japan, where the fuck did Gato go? Because who the fuck is this guy? It feels like we're dealing with the Monstars version or the Space Jam version of Gato. Gato's powers were stolen.
Rich, gotta remember, Tony Khan has a typhoon generating machine. I think he can snatch souls. I think he can also snatch souls. This is all Tony Khan's fault. He went out there and stole Gato and banished his soul to the Shadow Realm, and I don't know who this macaroni nigga is. You know what a macaroni nigga is, right? An imposter.
No. Yes. This is a horrible build. Like, this is a horrible setup. Anyone defending this is ridiculous.
It's goofy. And
the babyface who wins the G1, who goes through for the 3rd year in a row, can't hold on to his briefcase, and then by the kindness of the champion's heart, gets the title match anyway. Oh, great.
The part that really makes no
reward
sense.
this fucking loser.
The worst part about it isn't even the stuff you mentioned, right? The worst part about it really is that ultimately Naito versus Ibushi is night 1, not 2.
Well,
so that means
I think they've got some proof of concept from last year. Since night 1 outdrew night 2.
But ultimately, look, I understand the draw thing or whatever else, but like we're telling stories. So
right. The story goes down from night 1.
Right. It goes to Jay White versus Ibushi, and it's like, bruh, if Ibushi wins, we know you're not going to put the fucking belt on Jay White the next night. That'd be fucking stupid. So it's like, alright, there's a reason why Naito didn't fight Okada in night 1 and then fight who did he fight? I think it was Jay White last year, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, we understand y'all not doing this. So it's like, you did it backwards. Like, you did it right the first time, why would you fuck it up this time around? After you just did it the first time a year ago.
What a terrible storyline.
I don't really have a necessary, like the part where, he wins the G1 and loses the briefcase. Like, if it sets up to where it would have been him versus Jay White again on night 1, or they split them up and then you just do Jay White versus Naito on night 1. Naito sends him packing. Then you do whoever, I'm assuming it's going to be Evil. It's going to be shit. On the other side, you do Evil versus Ibushi, and then he beats Ibushi, and then you do Naito versus Ibushi in night 2. I have no problem with them taking the briefcase off him if that's the case. That's fine. But once
you took it off of him and you gave him the match anyway.
Yeah. But once you put the top match in night 1 and then this lesser shit that no one's, in night 2 is like, well, why? You didn't have to do it this way. And I know you didn't have to do it this way because I saw you do it just last year. Whatever. And then it's
they're
like,
also, you got Jay White about to get a main event of the Dome. What will that be like?
A bunch of interference.
Oh,
A a bunch of good wrestling, and then you're like, this match is going well, and then fuck shit happens that you've seen him do in a million other matches. Like, I'm quite frankly exhausted. Like, if you are a heel that does like the same 5 things in every fucking match, like I'm quite frankly, I'm sick of you, and you need to go the fuck away, or I just need to stop watching you. And either one works for me. I just don't want you on my screen anymore.
Look, this does not inspire. Because at best now, I'm a casual fan of New Japan at this point. I don't have the same level of investment, largely due to a lot of the wrestlers getting older, not being at the level they were a couple years ago, the booking seemingly falling off a cliff, the level of championship matches of the old days literally being the old days at this point. And quite frankly, I'm not really enthused about many of the new directions. Not in the Sonata, not in the Jay White at that level. Naito clearly falling apart. He's not the Naito he was in 16 or 17 or 18. Okada and Ospreay, maybe that can be exciting, but at the same time, it's not like, I don't want to see Will Ospreay be a heel, a chicken shit heel. I think he's, better suited as babyface, but apparently you're not allowed to be a babyface top gaijin in New Japan. So I don't know, man. I don't feel like this inspired, like if Wrestle Kingdom's there, anything they're trying to reach out for the world, and right, this don't seem like it, but maybe that's not their goal anymore.
I don't know what they're doing. As far as like, okay, so
and they've like completely devalued Tanahashi at this point.
Yeah, when Tanahashi like carried that sorry ass block he was in, like, yeah, I wouldn't be doing it, but that's what they're doing. Like, they had in that on that show, they had the US IWGP briefcase match, and in the G1, Tanahashi worked over Kenta's legs and then eventually slapped on the Texas Cloverleaf and got the submission. So he ended up getting this match. They did this match. Tanahashi never worked over Kenta's legs except for one dragon screw leg whip in the whole match. And then they start battling between Texas Cloverleafs escaping and slap on the label lock / escaping and slap on the Texas Cloverleaf. And then eventually the Texas Cloverleaf got switched up again to the yes lock, and he got a submission back. He ended up tapping out Tanahashi. And I was just like watching it, and I'm like, okay, so Kenta beat Tanahashi. I think the series is now what? Who won the G1 match last year between those two?
Kenta.
Okay, so Kenta's up 2-1 in that. He has the briefcase. We don't know when the fuck Moxie's ever coming back. Like, I made a joke, like, he won't be defending that shit until he won't be able to cash that shit until, like, Dominion 2021. If we're lucky. So there's that. It seems like we're headed towards, on one of these cards, Sonata versus Evil. Best of Super Junior is gonna, we'll see what happens with, Hiromu. I don't even know what challenger they can even whip up for, the Dangerous Trekkers, Taichi and Saber. I'm sure they'll come up with somebody, but like somebody like really good. Like, are they gonna make a random tag team of like Goto and Ishii or some shit? I don't know.
They've got World Tag League coming, and those rosters dropped. So we'll see. Something in there. The only belt I trust in right now in New Japan, well, 2 belts. The junior title and the Never title. Because the Never title is on, like, Goto, or Ishii, or Shingo, or Suzuki. And they go out there, and they have their 15 to 19 minute match, and they beat the shit out of each other, and it's awesome, and then they go home. Like, Shingo in Suzuki had another fucking banger. I think that's their 3rd one this year. And it's like, these dudes, especially
I'm not going to get to it, but like, these dudes are doing the wrestling that should be happening up the card, but they're stuck trying to push the super young Evil who's in his mid-30s. And like, I mean, Jay White's stuck doing this stupid shit. Like, Jay White can wrestle at the level of the other guys at the top of the card in New Japan. They just put him on this thing to where he has these matches that exasperate you. So sometimes they can be the G1 final from last year, or they could be the Tokyo Dome this year. Like, it all comes down to stakes involved. It's like, I know that's a lot of wrestling, but it's like, I would prefer something more, consistent. So, yeah, man, like, we'll see. Like, and then, like, you mentioned it, Will Ospreay. I don't know. I haven't seen him wrestle since he turned heel, so I don't know what that looks like. But, I have no reason to believe that Okada versus Will Ospreay won't be awesome. I saw them have a 4 1/4 match that went like 10 fucking minutes, and it would have fuck finished it on the last night of the last night of his block or whatever. So that's not what I like. The work isn't the issue with Okada.
It seems like all the stuff I'm into is far away from the main event scene, like
right.
in this company.
Right.
Of course, Ishii and whatever Shingo's doing, and
it's goofy. They're doing this backwards. It's like, I mean, look, this is not the title run that Naito should have had. Like, it's almost like they gave him the belt and said, yeah, your job is not to be like the awesome you. Your job is to get these other people over, namely Evil and Sonata. And like, I can understand wanting to get Sonata over. What I cannot understand is trying to get Evil over. Who gives a fuck?
Look,
Sonata make him swoon. Like, you can say what you want to about like, he wrestles too mechanically, he's a robot, blah, 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 but like, the skills are there, the look is there, he makes him swoon, he dresses like a star, like, but Evil? No.
Well, I don't know enough about the Japanese fans, but I'm not like gonna assume that like they are some like complete like alien type people that are radically into different stuff than we are, but
no, they're just smart as us.
So it's like, don't none of them think Evil suck? Like, I don't like this. What y'all telling me? Like this has to be done.
Well, you gotta remember they're a lot more polite than us, so they don't think he sucks. Okay. They just don't think he's at the top of the card. They think he's a mid carder, which he is. He's a mid carder, and they're doing this and like.
So we should probably start with the main event.
I understood it when, maybe this is just like, we push him this long, this is just get to one big bad hill that one of the babyface has to overcome in the Tokyo Dome. We beat him, and then whatever the fuck else happens after that. But, like, that still don't mean I have to watch these 27 minutes, 38 minutes, 33 minute sorry ass title matches that he's been in all this time. And like, them shit sucked. All of them.
So the main event of Power Struggle was Tetsuya Naito against Evil. I did watch this match. Luckily I was getting off work, so I was kind of in a mood where I didn't need something too exciting. It just needed to just kind of, I was feeling relaxed. So I was able to just relax and zone in on this match. And it was just like, it wasn't really exciting. It wasn't really.
They could have chopped the 10-minute call happened on. Keep in mind, for listeners, I watched this on 2 times speed.
That's hilarious.
And I was like, once I heard that 10-minute call, I was like, why was any of this, like, aside from him working over his back, I was like, this first 10 minutes was totally pointless.
Stalling, rolling out the ring, brawling around the ringside, doing the weapons. There was a portion before Dick Togo got in with the garrote wire, which I was actually kind of getting into a little bit because, like I said, I was able to just kind of let this cook.
But that was the finish. That was the finish of the last 10 minutes.
Yeah. there was like one little portion of this match I like, and then it was just constant bullshit everywhere. There was Dick Togo with the gorilla wire. Yujiro Takahashi is doing moves in the middle of the IWGP title match
with the pimp
in the
stick.
ring. Yeah, Jay White's running out there. Sonata,
Sonata runs out and clears those two out and takes to the back after running wild with drop kicks and
no socks.
Drop kicks and then the plancha, and then he snatches up Togo and Yujiro takes to the back. Then there's up and like, all right, well now that they're about to wrestle, the odds been even, and then Jay White comes the fuck out there. He teased like he's about to hit the Sister Abigail on Evil. It's a joke. He goes to help lay out because he realizes like, yeah, I'd much rather fight fucking Evil than Tetsuya Naito. Of course, I'm not a fucking idiot. I want the bigger paycheck. So, he go, or I'm sorry, not, I say that bad, I'm saying, I want the easy way out. I want the easier Evil as opposed to Naito. So, then he, out comes Ibushi, who, like, I don't know, you should be go home because you fucking lost.
Why are you here, bro?
Yeah. Like, he comes out there, he wants a piece of Jay White, even though Jay White already gave him a piece, and he lost. So, he runs him out of there, and then, like, Naito, after,
Evil and Ibushi are doing spots together in the match.
Right. So then
I'm like, what the fuck is going on, man? Like, why are all these people here?
Right. Two run-ins. You could argue that, like, only one of them was necessary.
Yes, so, I understand they're putting them in there so to interweave them in the story. I understand it, guys.
Yeah. But it's like, but the point is, like, if you have to do that one, you don't need the other. You don't need two runners. You can just use one. Otherwise, overkill. It makes people roll their fucking eyes. Anyway, so you do once those all 4 or 5 people that ran in the fucking match are gone, and just those two. There's dick stomping, of course, and then Naito, after getting his back worked over throughout the whole match, gets his revenge by kicking Evil in the ball's back, but he does so by like giving him the pop up power bomb, like Kevin Owens style, except it was a pop up dick kick, and it's like, so your back is hurt, but you just lifted this big motherfucker up in the air and then kicked him in the dick. All right, whatever. Whatever. It was just a mess, just an overbooked mess, and
all over the place.
New Japan does overbook messes, but like normally, like the overbooked messes are like have great wrestling involved mostly. In Evil and Naito, I never want to see them wrestle each other ever again. If they are, please put them in different blocks next year. Put them in different brackets at all times. No, I don't even want to see them tag together. I don't even want to see them tag together on Road 2 shows. I don't even fucking watch Road 2s. I don't even want to hear about it. I don't even want to like go on Cage Match and look through the card for these Road 2 shows and even see them in the same bracket wrestling each other. I don't want them ever to touch again. Nah, bro. Like,
just an absolute dud and disaster of a feud.
Can WWE please sign EO's fiance and bring him in so that Gato doesn't feel obligated to book Naito and Evil ever again. Please bring Watanabe to the Americas. Or look, can somebody if I hit the lotto, can I break off Watanabe enough bread to where Evil enough bread to where like he just retires? He just moves here. He just becomes a good house husband.
Yeah, just make sure EO's life is great.
Lotto. I'm about to play Lotto this day. I'm gonna break Evil something off.
Yeah, man.
I'm gonna give him money for him not to wrestle no more.
They have centered this promotion essentially on this rivalry for the second half of the year, and I'm just befuddled and baffled. And I'm sure the LIJ stands just love this.
I don't know. Maybe. But, it's... The thing that bothers me the most about it is, like, when Naito...
It's like, why do they have to lie about this?
The thing for me is, like, when Naito's not doing this evil shit, he's still awesome. like, he was what, maybe the third best person in the block, in the B block this year, but his matches are caught up with this evil shit. Is like, alright, but, yeah, man, like, if he had a different challenge to do this with for the past however many months, they would have been great matches, but it's Evil.
Boy, imagine if he didn't like Evil. Supposedly they're homeboys. Imagine if he didn't, it would have been even worse. Remember that theory? Oh, you know, these guys are best friends. They've known each other since 2003. I'm like, who gives a fuck? Do they wrestle good together? Like, oh, they don't? Oh, okay.
Yeah, man. Like,
very down on this direction, how they got here, what Gato's doing. I'm not seeing it. Maybe this man's miles and miles ahead of me right now, and I'll have to come back on here and apologize. However, you're not going to convince me that the champion granting this buffoon who lost the briefcase a match out of the kindness of his heart is good. You're not going to convince me of that ever.
No, I'm with you. Like, there is a promo to get there, as far as talking about, like, you know, it happened to me last year. By the grace of God, I got.
No, it didn't. You didn't win the briefcase, Naito.
No. I'm not talking about winning the briefcase. I'm saying, like, look, man, I had opportunity on the last night of the Grand Prix, the G1 for my block, and I lost, came up short. And, you know, it really stinks. And I look at someone like Ibushi and blah, 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 blah. And I want to test myself as the best. And even though he, you know, came up short, I still think he's amongst the best. And you look at what happened with Jay White. It was constant cheating in that match. So this is what I want to do. That is still not good storytelling. You should just have Ibushi just fucking win. Or better yet, like, put him in the second thing or whatever else. But there's a way to at least explain to where you're like, why is Naito granting wishes like a genie? Like, so,
like, you know, is Ibushi a Make-A-Wish kid at this point? Like, what the fuck they doing with the IWGP title? Like, boy, I don't know.
Like, it's weird. It's super weird because, like, they're clearly like, they had that final with Sonata for the express purposes of showing you that, like, Sonata will get there in like 2 years, right?
I feel like we've been saying that about him for.
Well, he beats Naito, he beats Evil, right? He doesn't have a title shot right now. He should be the number one contender if we're being real about it. They're clearly setting this up to where, like, next year he probably wins G1. So that means, like, 2020 Wrestle Kingdom, he's probably gonna be in the title match. So it's like, you tell that story, so like the story is really like, it's Ibushi's time, you're on deck, and then you have him go out there and he fucking loses. Ibushi loses, like, so wait, so neither one, so we watched, why did we watch that final? What was the point? For what? It has been nullified. It means nothing 2 months later, or a month later. Alright. No big deal. It's only like, you know, check
out Keepin It Strong Style. I'm sure they'll explain it in a way that, you know, I'm sure it'll make this make sense.
Yeah, I'm sure it happened I'm sure it'll be explained because it's something, you know,
I have questions
that we overlooked from some Road to show in Shinjuku Face or some shit, or Shinkiba First Ring or wherever the fuck. Yeah, bro. I'm with you for the most part. Like, I'm not as hard on Naito anymore as much as it's like, this is all Evil's fault and whoever booked Evil to be put over to this level. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I had hopes for this, especially because I was watching the New Japan Cup and I thought that the turn on the final was awesome. I thought it was awesome. I think it's the best turn I've seen this year. But nothing, and I mean nothing, that I've seen since that turn makes me think that they've done any good. Like, They go out there and they have 3-star, 3 1/4, 30-minute fucking matches in the main event. Fuck off. Nah, don't want to do it. Like Naito's worst singles matches since we came back from the pandemic, New Japan Cup or whatever else, have all been with Evil. Like, maybe there's a Yano match I'm forgetting or some shit like that, but like, nah, man. Goto match is better. Tanahashi match is better. Kenta matches are better. Even though they're not great, they're better. Sabre matches are better. Juice matches are better. What are we talking about? Like,
this man's an anchor. Like,
yes.
Hold shit down.
Like, if you ever want to know how the Baron Corbin with the top title would have worked out, you can glean something from this. Don't fucking do it. Ever.
Don't do it. Please don't do it.
Yeah. Alright. Yeah. I'm trying to think what else is on this card that I watched. Went over the Kenta Tanahashi thing. I don't even know what he's doing at Wrestle Kingdom. You think he's out here
Tanahashi?
Yeah, you think he's out here like, you think they're gonna leave him off the card? The way they treat this man?
Shit. You know.
The way they doing Ace
where's
is a damn
ECE?
travesty.
What's ECE doing? God damn.
Who knows? Could
I get a Tanahashi Ishii match just for the system? You know? Just throw it on there?
I have to go to Cage Match to see if, I know they've done it.
They've done it.
But I know they had to have done it before, but I don't remember seeing any of them. No, I bet them shits are awesome.
I believe they did one to G1 in 2017, I believe. Maybe 16.
Okay.
One of them.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't watch any 2016 G1. I was still like, nah, this shit is wrestling too dangerous. Now I'm like injected into my veins. Just don't do head drops. Just like, as long as you don't drop people on your head and neck, like I can watch pretty much anything at this point.
I think it's the 2017 G1.
Okay.
A block. So
yeah, because 17 A block. Who won that A block?
Naito.
Okay, so Okada was in that block too.
No, Okada was in the B block.
Yeah, with Omega. That's the first time Omega beat him, right?
Yeah.
Okay, that's all right. We're getting too far in the weeds. I don't even know what we were talking about next. Hold on. Would it be NXT?
I think.
Okay, if my notes would pull up, that would be helpful, but yeah, NXT. Here we go. All right.
You don't sound enthused.
This show.
Oh yeah. That's what I heard. All the finishes on this one.
This show had four good matches on it, including 2 matches that I recommend. And out of those five matches that are on this card, the first 4 matches all has shenanigans / fuck shit in it. We are getting a little late in the show, so I'm not going to go through like this epic move by move thing I had for Ember versus Dakota. But suffice to say, I was impressed by the things that were done in this, and the physicality and just the diversity of offense between both of them, like where Dakota Kai says she is, the captain of Team Kick. Well, I don't know what the fuck we call Ember, because Ember's out kicking her ass. It was a fun match. But ultimately, Ember has the match won, or seemingly won. She goes up the ring for the Eclipse, and I think it's after, like, we went through a commercial break. Went through a commercial break, came back, so we're like, it's like a 13 minute match, and at the end of it, goes up for the Eclipse. Immediately goes up for the Eclipse. Not like I went up and then I had to sell and then go up there. Like, she was up on the top rope, like, within 8 seconds. Raquel distracts her for like 2 seconds, and then all of a sudden Dakota is up after she had just got put on her ass and got her ass with like 30 seconds straight, like a run of offense, just a video game combo of moves done to her. Gets up in 10 seconds, pump kicks her in the face, then hits her with her rope assisted go to sleep thing, except she doesn't use a knee, she uses a Pele kick, and then wins off of a 2-second distraction. And I was like, wow, this was Ember's second match back, or third match back, something like that. But it's like, wow, you really had something. She is your second best worker in that division, former champion, and you gotta go gotta go the long way. Go Chase. And don't get me wrong, like, there are a lot of people,
way.
right. And don't get me wrong, like, there's a lot of people in line, like, Tony's gonna get there eventually. They're doing Rhea Ripley soon. So I get it, but damn, just don't book the match. Like, I like the match a whole hell of a lot. I gave it 3 3/4, but damn, like, if that's what you're going to do to her, then don't book the match. So there's that.
I did watch Tony Storm and Shotzi Blackheart.
Okay, what you think? About the match. What do you think about the match?
Glad you specified on that, because that could have been anything there. I hated the fact that Shotzi Blackheart was staring at a video screen for much of it at the end in this little tank, and she got distracted multiple times by this video.
Hold on. You're forgetting one thing. They did a double count out spot. Shotzi gets in at like 8. Doesn't go back out at all. The ref at like 8 just stops his count, and then a video goes up on their version of the Terror Dome. It wasn't like, it happened and then like the ref got distracted by the video that everybody else is watching. Like, that makes sense, but like, she got in, stopped counting, time goes by. Hey bro, what happened to that count you had? You was up on 8. Tony's still in this ring, and then the shit happened. I
thought Shotzi was like very sloppy in the beginning of this match.
Yes, she was. She almost killed herself trying to do a springboard dive into the ring.
Yeah, I'm going to guess that's a regular occurrence, because every time I've seen Shotzi, like, I remember the I think the first time I saw her on NXT, she did that joint where she was in the outside moonsault position, but instead of doing the outside moonsault to the outside of the ring, she just jumped and then jumped straight backwards, but like she overshot her opponent and landed on her damn neck.
I imagine that was I believe that was against Dakota, and yes, it was almost like a magnet was her head, and like the floor was steel. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's what she want to do to try to get over. I mean, do your best, but yeah.
She had been on a better roll lately. Like her match with Io in particular was one where it's like, and she also tagged with who did she tag with? She tagged with somebody. I think it was Rhea. And like the last like month and a half, like she had kind of cleaned up some things, but it was still like, okay, this is getting better. And then like this ugly head is like, ooh.
Yeah, it was okay. It was nothing to really write home about.
Right, it's a simple 3 flat star deal. But yeah, the main thing is
these finishes though, man.
Yeah, yeah. Candice comes out, Candice has the truck. The main thing really is like, Shotzi comes out, freaks out on Tony Storm about where the fuck is my toy tank that I ride down to the ring. Tony's like, I don't know where your fucking tank is. Yeah. She's mad, thinks she's done it. They fight. Then you flash forward to where we are. Candice shows up on the screen. She has a tank. She says she'll look out for it. The big truck that we're not supposed to remember is the same exact truck that like supposed to be Damian Priest's pulls up, the Hummer. And the person that is probably going to end up being Indy Hartwell, who's in a Scream or Ghostface mask from the Scream movie, gets out, gets in the back seat, and then Candice runs the shit over. And then during the match, commentary put over that the Tank was some type of gif or makes her some type of gif or something to do with, I think, either a brother or a cousin who's overseas in the military, right?
Yeah.
But that's the first time they put it over this week. But they did put it over. Brian Alvarez, didn't hear that at all and was like, why is she losing her mind? But she OD'd it. She definitely OD'd it. But
yeah.
That was put over.
I wish I cared about. There are a few things I care about as much as Shotzi cares about that Tank.
Yeah, that's an inanimate object, not a person. Like, she acted like she saw Ricky get shot. But yeah,
and not Starks.
Yeah. Like yeah. So anyway, but yeah, that happened. So she's freaking the fuck out. Tony, I guess, was like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened. This is so traumatic for her. She tried to reach out to try to console her, and Shotzi wasn't even having it. And it was like, okay, so that's how they squash the beef between these two baby faces. So I understand what this means to her, that seeing how she freaked the fuck out. She's out here tweaking. So, that happened. Other match happened. They did Kushida versus Cameron Grimes. Hold on, man. Let me look through these notes.
Did it on the moon.
Okay. They get a double jobber entrance. Grimes got no music. They start with some mat wrestling, where she just goes to work on his arm. Kushida ends up going for a tilt-a-whirl, hoverboard lock. Grimes catches him and stops him midway in lawn dart position, then next on the top rope. So, you watch this match and they're just hitting these crazy counters and reversal on each other. They wrestled each other on NXT before. They had a short little TV program. They got cut short for, I forgot the reason, but it got scrapped after they had 2 matches. So, but they're wrestling this is the 3rd match in a series with all the counters they're doing. But commentary doesn't pick up on this because the only person that's still left over from when they were wrestling a year ago was Beth. Mm-hmm. But it's awesome. They're just great countering stuff. Anyway, I forgot to mention this part. They did a promo or interview with Grimes after coming and asking him how is he now that he's out of the House of Horrors match or whatever else from last week, and he's acting shook and scared of his own shadow. And then there was a ref that was a zombie in the House of Horrors last week. That ref showed up not a zombie anymore and backstage, and it freaked him the fuck out. So this match, flash forward to this match happening. They get towards the end, Kushida's worked over his arm. He's dead to rights. He escapes, but he escapes by throwing Kushida into the corner where the ref is. The ref gets put into the corner for a ref bump. Then the ref gets hit again and he bumps out of the ring. So Kushida slaps on the hoverboard lock. Grimes taps profusely. Kushida's looking around. Where the fuck is the ref? Alright, he's not here. Then Grimes gets back up. They pass each other twice on the ropes, and they end up doing Grimes' running Spanish fly thing for a near fall. Ref's still out. He's looking around. Where the fuck is the ref? All of a sudden, his face, he's facing the ramp. All of a sudden, they're zoomed in on Grimes. His eyes bug the fuck out. It's the zombie ref that's not a zombie right now walking down. He comes to the ring. Grimes runs. He doesn't run away from, or he runs away from this ref, but he doesn't run out the ring. He runs in circles inside the ring. Kushida jumps up, puts the hooks on, slaps him in a Kimura. He's fighting the Kimura that he just like tapped out too profusely a second ago, right? And he doesn't tap out until he looks up and sees the zombie ref and then taps out like crazy because he wants to get the fuck away from this zombie. I was like, this is fucking stupid. They had a good ass short match that, you know, they probably shouldn't have done if that's what they're going to do with Grimes. And like, I understand Grimes is a mid-card dude or whatever else, and so he does comedy, and he does it very well, but like, you watch WWE enough, you're just like, is this
you know where it leads?
Is this the, you know, Dean Ambrose talking about people with comedic timing, and then next thing you know, you're the world champion with a fucking big fuzzy hat on at the casino, or you're
looking like a rodeo clown.
Yeah, or you're Kevin Owens getting, you know, coming out the porta potties got tipped over, right? Like, that's what you're concerned with Grimes is like, they don't really go that hard with the geekdom stuff with someone on his level in NXT, but NXT ain't like the previous NXT of 2019, right? Like, they're in the pandemic, they're doing goofy shit, they've been hot-shotting. I'm concerned that like Grimes is going to be this goof, especially because like this is what he's been doing the past 2 weeks. Is all this goofy, scared coward shit, and it's like I'm concerned that this is like the line where I'm like, my antennas are up for this shit with him now. Like,
well, I mean, when he was feuding over a hat before, that should have sounded some alarms.
That's true, but I'm talking about he's a mid-card geek, or not a mid-card geek, but he's a mid-card heel that you can make fun of or whatever else. So like, there's going to be cowardice involved, but like, it needs to be doled out over time. Like, it's not like every fucking week. And like, when it's back-to-back weeks like this, then it's like, okay, like when you know, like what's next? What's next? And then you remember like, oh yeah, like there's a guy on the show that pissed himself once during the Survivor Series. So
true. So it could always be worse.
Yeah. My point is like, stop it now. Don't let it get to this point. Don't let it get to that point. That's all I'm like, cut it off now. Cut it off now.
Boy, I can imagine Cameron Grimes on Monday Night Raw, what he be doing.
Jesus Christ. Here we go. Sorry we're jumping over the place, but I'm trying to cut down my notes. I wrote some long ass notes. But, damn, I lost a note. Okay. Rich, stop me if you ever heard of this match before. Drake Maverick and Killian Dane versus Ever Rise.
I feel like I've heard this before, at least once.
It's like the third time they've wrestled in like the last like 4 or 5 weeks.
Hey, a rivalry, you know, WWE Universe mode and 2K. Fight every week.
Killian Dane starts the match. He dominates. Then he tags in Dane. Dane tags in Maverick. He then proceeds to do the Tam Nakano in Riso Shiki spot with tag team partners. I lift you up and I body slam you on my opponent. Frenemies, get it? Anyway, I'm not going through the whole match. Basically, they get Drake Maverick in, they get the heat on him forever. Then all of a sudden they cut to a split screen like Shane McMahon's about to tell us that he had just purchased WCW right from underneath Vince McMahon. It's the parking lot of the PC. A truck pulls up, and let me make sure I get this right. Yes, we get a split screen of the MCWO pulling up in a white SUV. The McAfee World Order. Anyway, McAfee takes the camera off the camera guy's shoulder. Bert starts stunning with the tag belt around his waist, and I had to rewind this just to make sure, but this absolutely happened. It wasn't that he got out, Bert got out, put the belt on, and then stunned it with the belt. He had the belt on inside of the SUV, Rich.
Just run around with the belt on, like Rasheed Wallace, huh?
I guess so. Lorcan looks so happy they have his tag belt. I didn't even know these dudes even smiled. Dunn is there, stone face, scowling, looking like something stank. They end up entering the PC. They hit the ring. They beat up all 4 of them dudes. They beat the brakes off them. And then McAfee cut another awesome promo. He said, "We are men of class. Unlike those bums, Undisputed Era, we respect what they've done."
I will always pop for someone calling someone a bum.
Yes. I don't know if he said bum, but he's basically, I think he called him scum actually, but whatever. It rhymes. So
close enough.
He then proceeds, he has, you know how they sell those, merchandise of like people's in NXT, their flags, how they have like, you know.
Yeah.
Alright, so he has an undisputed flag. He said, "We're going to raise this into the arena like as a banner," right? To pay homage to these great men of NXT's past. He points out, while we're talking about the past, let's talk about a history lesson. He points out all the stuff we talked about last week about, like, Pete Dunne hates these fucking guys. Roger Stone turned on him in the middle of a match. He's hated him ever since. And these idiots and this idiot Kyle O'Reilly thought that he was going to help him. No, he buried that chair in that man's back. Pete Dunne gets on the mic. He says, "I ain't forget. I want all of y'all ahead," basically. I'm paraphrasing. I didn't write this down. Hands the mic. And it's basically talking about like the history of these dudes about that. They came into the company and they beat the fuck out of McIntyre, and they were a nuisance, and they just cheated everywhere they went. And they talked about the push that they got. They're not great guys. They got a push. And I was like, oh god, why the fuck would you say this?
It is.
So that's the only thing he said that I was like, made me remind. Everything else is awesome. So then talked about how like this push overshadowed guys like Burke and Oni. And then they go to the mic and they talk about how we had to live underneath their shadows. We had to toil away while these dudes were on top, but we were always as good as them, and now we had these belts to prove it, and you want some more, we'll give you some more. So then McAfee gets it back, and he's like, look at Adam Cole. He did all he did when we had our match, whatever else. No class whatsoever. But unlike you, I'm a bigger man, so I'm gonna pay respect where respect is due. Your time is up. He didn't say our time is now.
Bigger man.
You stupid. So then he gets the mic, or he gets the banner. He's like, so we're gonna put this up in honor of you guys. So they pull down this thing that looks like one of those banner things for a championship banner. Then you go attach the flag, and all of a sudden, McAfee goes, "Hey man, you know what? So how rude of me. We are not a dictatorship like the Undisputed Era with Adam Cole, the egomaniac he is. This is a democracy." Right? Like, he said this is the greatest 4-man faction in the history of pro wrestling. How? So he ends up saying, like, look, yay or nay, if you want us to hang this banner, say aye, actually. Nobody says anything. If you want us to burn this flag, say aye. 3 eyes. They get a trash can. They put the flag in there. Dunn gets the lighter fluid. Match throws it, or not the match, but the lighter throws it into the can. Fire that hell up. So then they go to leave, and then as they go to leave, and they're outside in the PC now, they're going to drive away. Killian Dane tries to attack them. Right? Pete Dunne beats him down. The front door is open. The driver's side door is open. He puts him and hangs him by the opening of the door. He gets behind the door and he fucking kicks the door right into his face. And the look that, keep in mind, like, Pete Dunne is doing up the scary, like, I'm crazy, you don't understand how crazy I am. Like, he's the killer of this group, obviously. So, Dunn, Lorcan, and Birch are all like, yo, he took this to another level. This shouldn't have gone. Like, he's crazy. So McAfee was like, yo, I wasn't expecting that, but I love what you're doing. Let's get out of here. So they move his body out the way, and the camera pans to them leaving, and as they pan back down, you just see, like, it's fake blood, but like tons of fake blood around Dunn's face, or not Dunn, but Dane's face, where he just got, you know, effectively curb stomped. It was like, I love this faction all of a sudden. Like, I can't believe that I'm a fan of McAfee X. I can't, but
that Undisputed Era flag is burning up.
But yeah, man, like, this was another great promo. Like,
the McAfee Elite.
Dude, McAfee's a killer promo. He's a killer promo. Like, obviously, you know, on that same day, on that same night, it had, it was the second best promo of the night on both shows, because obviously none of us touching that fucking,
that all-time classic segment.
None's touching what they did with Moxley and Kingston when they were like, you know, that, you know, theater of the mind thing they did, but this was one of the best promos of the year. And McAfee now has two of them, and like, you know, keep giving that dude the mic. In fact, like, the less he wrestles, the better. Like, I understand what they did when they put those three ringers around him, but just let him go. Like this is going to be an awesome, like, build so far. Like, so far it's been awesome. Like, that new group, I forgot what they call themselves, but like, you know what those three bring to the table. And McAfee's an incredible promo. Yeah, man, like, I did not know this was coming, and my expectations were very low for McAfee, especially after that match, because it was all smoke and mirrors, but he can have all the smoke and mirrors he wants if he can talk like that, because Jesus Christ. Yeah. But, the main event, I'm gonna skip through it. Like, they did some things with Johnny Gargano and the Scream Killer or whatever else, but it doesn't matter. It was just a simple promo. But, main event, Tommaso Ciampa versus Velveteen Dream. The only clean finish on the show. This match, I don't think I've liked a one-sided match this much since Kairi and Asuka came back to Full Sail and they beat the shit out of Tegan and Dakota for like 15 minutes of a 17-minute match. Ciampa beat his ass, Rich. Like, this might have been like an 85-15 match. Nice. He just wore his ass out. The finish comes where Dream gets free. Dream, by the way, is dressed like an NWO B teamer. He has a leather backwards Kangol on. He has a black Velveteen Dream shirt that says OVA for OVA, and it's in purple in the the NWO logo, and then like the shirt is tight, it's tucked inside some tight black pants, and he has on like black boots. He is dressed like Virgil or some shit, or like Buff Bagwell, like in the NWO. Like, he's dressed like that. Anyway, so he ends up the finish comes where he gets separation. He has Ciampa down. He goes out to the floor underneath the ring and grabs a chair and throws it in. Keep in mind, he still has the cast on his hand from when Kushida broke it. Right? Mm-hmm. So he throws a chair in the ring so the ref gets it out so he can distract the ref's back his turn. He goes to the top turnbuckle because he wants to give the axe handle smash onto Ciampa's head. Ciampa jumps up, gives him that fucking running knee strike, the V-trigger deal, like catching finisher. He drags his carcass up to the middle rope, gives him the DDT that he used, the whatever the fuck he calls it. Johnny uses as well, that DDT through the ropes. Yeah. And then he hits him with the Christopher Daniels Angel Wings and pins him. He squashed this dude for like 12 minutes. It was awesome. Like, it was a good match, but like, it was a good match. Like, no, don't get it wrong. Like, I gave it 3.5, but like, this was like, he beat the shit out of Velveteen Dream, and it was like, this is so fun to watch. Like, The crowd cheered him the whole time too. He's a babyface again, Rich, after murdering.
I was gonna ask
like 2 months ago.
I was gonna ask, is Tom Ciampa a babyface again?
He's a babyface again after when he came back and murdered Atlas, and it's because they put him in a Velveteen Dream, and ain't nobody cheering the Velveteen Dream.
You a babyface this week?
Nah, he's a babyface. Period. Like, he hasn't done anything heelish except for when he came back and murdered Atlas like 2 months ago.
Fun times.
Or a month and a half ago. I can't remember how long it was. But yeah, I'm with you. They've been wishy-washy with him. Like, had they not had him murder Atlas, then he would have still been the babyface he was, like, ever since he came back from the neck. So it made really no sense, but whatever. He was awesome that night. And also, like, with that cast on Velveteen's hands, like, he gave Ciampa a black eye, and he was cut up and bruised up from getting hit with that thing on accident too throughout that match, and he still worked like a pro. Like hopefully this meant, like, you know, no more Velveteen Dream. He's going away forever. Like, send him to the same place where, like, Austin Theory retired to after he retired last week or 2 weeks ago. Send his ass away. Banish both of them. Don't let them ever come back. Look, put them in the OVW. Look, send them both back to OVW in the trunk.
In the box.
Yeah. In the box. Right, you rich. Alright. Only thing left is Stardom.
Well, in that case, James, hit the music!
Okay, so it's been a minute. I don't think we've done any Stardom talk since like the beginning of October, I think. So there's a lot of stuff to cover. I'll be short with it. It's been Tag League. Tag League has been mediocre like it was last year. It's been a little bit better than last year, but like it's still just not the same level as the normal stuff. And in between that, they had the Korakuen Hall that had the Mayu and Takumi red belt match. On the undercard of that, what did I send you to watch? I can't remember.
So there was a tag match with a new girl, Mina
Shirakawa. Okay. Yeah. All right.
Tam.
Okay. So, just to give you an update on that. Mina showed up on that big Yokohama show on October 3rd. The next night, she wrestled a singles match with Tam. Tam beat her. Tam was talking about like she wants to see up and close about this H Cup bikini model that wrestles. She beat her ass, and then she said, I like you. You should come tag with me in the tag league. And they were like, okay. And ever since then, when they do their promos together, Tam cannot stop staring at this woman's chest. Or she starts jostling them things around.
Yes, and not like the Natalya Neidhart, Jenny Neidhart chops. Like she's like bouncing them in her hands.
No, but you said bouncing made me think of that Pharrell song with Rihanna. Bouncing around. And it's just ridiculous. Like, what the fuck is going on?
I was like, because I saw her do it. I was like, hold on, did I just see it? And then she did it again.
Dude, that's the same exact thought. That's why I didn't say nothing to you. I was like, I'm gonna let you see it, and I know you're gonna tell me about it. But yeah, bro, that's been happening the whole time. Just she be touching them things. Do you remember? Okay, so Rich, you're a Lakers fan. You remember one Lonzo Ball?
Yeah.
Lonzo Ball had
BBB.
The triple Bs. Well, this team may as well be called the triple Ts. Tam touches things.
Oh anyway, my God.
So like Mina, she's all right. Tam she's basically there to
the look.
Yeah. She's also new. Like she has like she has like a year and a half of experience, and she was wrestling like.
I thought she was pretty good.
This was one of her better matches. Like, she's one of her better matches. Like, last two shows, she's been better than she has been before. Like, she's improving, if you will. Like, so, anyway, who were they wrestling? Was it Micah and Julia?
Yes, Micah and Julia.
Yeah. Micah and Julia, they did their promo. They talk about how, like, oh yeah, like, we, Tam, I haven't wrestled Tam in, like, a month. And then, like, Micah makes a face like, y'all haven't wrestled in a month? Like, all y'all been doing is warm each other for, like, the last, all summer and fall. So, you see the tension at the beginning of the match between them as far as, like, they're like, we're going to get in this ring eventually at some point. We're going to throw the fuck down. Doesn't happen yet. They started out with, I believe it was Julia and Julia and Tam. Julia and Mina. They get the heat on Mina. They beat the shit out of her. Tam finally gets in. And then eventually it's Tam and Julia, and they just start beating the shit out of each other, of course. It's for a double down. And then at a certain point, I can't remember what happened, but Mina gets back in, and then Tam hits her, I think they call it the Glorious Buster. Like the move you like, the power, like the Falcon Arrow looking power driver that she does. Yeah, the sit out thing. She ends up hitting her with that. Tam, like, picks her friend up off the ground and moves on. Like, it's weird because in this tournament, it is like, it's two blocks like a Grand Prix or a G1, but they don't wrestle people in their same block. They're wrestling people in the opposite block. So I still don't know, like, and it hasn't been explained on Twitter, at least that I'm aware of, like, what are the tiebreaker scenarios? Like, obviously the tiebreaker scenario is we're not going to book it to where anything ends up in a tie, but you kind of want to play the game, but I don't know. But Julia and Micah are 2-1, so they have 6 points. There's only the final was on yesterday. The final show for this was yesterday. But the shows aren't up yet. Like they had 2 shows this weekend. The Saturday show just got up just recently, like in the last couple hours. So I'll end up checking that out. We'll end up giving you updates on that next week. But that was the first match. What do you think of this match?
I liked it. I thought Mina, like you're telling me, she didn't have much experience. I thought she looked good here. Julia, of course, impressed me. Stands out. Micah, she had some cool power moves and some good facial expressions that she would put in where she would do a move and then look around like, did you guys like that? Like, it was, but yeah, Julia's like, I love Julia.
Okay.
One of the guys that love Julia.
Like, it's funny, like, we were talking about it at the beginning of the year as far as some people were so upset about the Julia shit. And it's like, all right, well, like, she's a top, or I wouldn't say as far as talent, but given push, given, match.
She got it. She got the charisma. Like, she's got, like, the look. Like, she got, like, this look in her face, like, she's dead serious. Like, yeah.
Yeah, like, she's better now than she was when she first got to Stardom a year ago, but it's like, I think that, a lot of people owe her apologies because they were acting like she was trash, and no. Like, do I think she's like as an elite level worker in Stardom? No, but like, I think she's on the next level below, which is a very good fucking wrestler in Stardom or in anywhere. So.
We had the other match, Mayu Iwatani and Starlight Kid against Shuri and Natsupoi. This was the best match I think that she sent me, that I liked. This one, it was lightning fast from the bell, lots of moves, lots of near falls, and I thought it was like, physical and at the same time, like, it was everything we want. I think I gave this 4.
That's exactly what I gave it to. Yeah, it was, okay, so this is in the aftermath of that Yokohama show. Like, Mina debuted, but the big reveal was who was going to be the fifth member of Donna Del Mondo, and it ended up being Natsupoi. Natsupoi is Natsumi Maki, who was in Tokyo Joshi Pro, formerly of All Act Girls. So when she came into Stardom, like, she's a girl I was telling you about, like, Donna Del Mondo is a thug section, and they're gonna bring in this happy, smiley girl who has a baton and twirl and flips and stuff or whatever else. Like, I don't really know how this is gonna work. And what they've basically done is just basically have her just like tone that down and just like, you're just gonna be the high speed wrestler for Donna Del Mondo. So like, they've already set up like the course for like her versus Azumi for the high speed title. It's already in play. Like, they had a match on their last show on the undercard, and it was a 5-way, and like, they were out, they weren't involved in the finish, but like after the match, like, they were grabbing each other by the hair and shit, and like, and it's on, like, eventually. So but anyway, in this match in particular, like, it is also playing off of the main event red belt match for that show, which was Shuri versus Mayu, where like they had a incredible brawl, or not brawl, but incredible like display of selling and ass kicking, and it was awesome. But so they've been put in the ring a few times since then, and every time it's like you still see that tension of like what happened in that match. And like, when they get in the ring, like, they're great together. Like, quite frankly, I think that Shuri's the second best wrestler in Stardom now. Like, between Jungle and Momo, once Kagetsu retired, it was them. I think Shuri is better than both of them. In like, Shuri and the way she sells for everybody, like whether it's like Lil Saya or it's Starlight Kid, like, she's so giving in a way. Like, I don't think like Shuri and Kagetsu are similar. I think that Shuri is more serious, obviously, but as far as like just being giving to people that have no business being, like, she doesn't have to sell for Starlight Kid if she doesn't want to, but she does. She doesn't have to sell for a pin eater, but she will. She doesn't care. Mm-hmm. And like, I just think her and Mayu do great stuff. I think her and Starlight Kid, whenever they've wrestled in tags, or even in the even like in a singles match earlier a couple months ago, like, they're great together, and you saw that on display in this match. Like,
I have tied my my flag to Shuri slowly over time.
Smart. I'm telling you.
Do we have any sign of her and Momo meeting anytime soon in this tag league?
I think they're in the same block, so they don't wrestle. So they don't wrestle each other.
Great.
Yeah.
Rossi stealing from me.
Well, they had the match, and then, that weekend her mom died, so she had to cancel. But I think they'll get back to it. You gotta keep in mind, like, one thing about this is, they have shows to do. Like, next week is a Korakuen Hall. The 15th. I'm sorry, no. I think like the 14th is a Korakuen Hall, and the 15th is a big show in Sendai. So it'll be similar to that Yokohama show from the 3rd of October. And then like they also have more Korakuen Hall shows, and then like the 20th of December they have a gigantic show to do, and then also the year-end climax. Like, you're almost assured they're going to have a match and make up for the fact they didn't do it. And I can't remember what show it was, but yeah, I remember what show it was. It was like the first Korakuen Hall after from like basically like the mid-October Korakuen Hall show. Yeah. There was a Oedo Tai versus Queen's Quest. Like, I think it was a 8-person tag or a 6-person tag. It was great. They had B and Konami, and I think either Natsuko versus Shuri and Hameka and Maika, I think. And like, it went to a draw, and like, B was like, you suck, and Shuri, you definitely suck. And she's in Japanese. Shuri fucking blew her stack and chased after her and chased her out the Korakuen, ran her out to Rucker Ridge. So Recently, Shuri, at the very last Korakuen Hall, she announced that she is going to be in Stardom full time, like starting November 1st. And she said that, like, at this show coming up at Sendai, I want B for the SWA title. So, like, that match is gonna be great. Like,
yeah,
they have good chemistry in tags. So, you know, she wants some of the 2019 One Nation Radio Stardom Wrestler of the Year.
Apparently so. She's trying to win that lineal championship.
It's stupid. So, as far as the tag league goes, Shuri is tagging with Himeka. Natsupoi's not in it. They just put, there's 5 members. They put Micah with Julia and they put Shuri with Himeka. And, like, Shuri and Himeka, they lost one match. They just recently lost one match, but, like, they have been wrecking shop. So, what was the third match I had sent to you?
Julia and Himeka.
Julia versus Himeka, the white belt match. So, I think I sent you what the build was, and I was like, tell me this build is not better that they just pulled out of their ass than the Young Bucks in FTR. This was like right as they like, wait a second, like in it or out of it, like when they were doing the stupid stuff. They were not stupid, but like not good stuff. Anyway, like the story was the Grand Prix, Himeka pinned Julia and with a running power bomb, her big finish. In real life, that power bomb sent Julia to the hospital because her head bounced off the mat. So with a concussion. So she tells her, hey, I beat you in the Grand Prix, you're the white belt champion, I want a title shot. And they agreed to it. So Himeka cuts a promo saying like, hey, Julia, I'm going to take this belt from you. It wasn't face to face. It was like she was cutting a promo into a camera and says, in a hallway, and says, Julia, I'm going to take that belt from you. And I know last time we wrestled, I put you in the hospital with that power bomb. I'm going to do it again. All of a sudden, apparently Julia heard that shit from a few feet away, ran up, and they start brawling and scrapping in a hallway. So that's the end of that.
With that shit.
Right. Like, you gonna put me in the hospital? Fuck you. Like, we're in the same faction, you asshole. So, then at the contract signing, they tell us that, like, that date of the Korakuen Hall show on the 29th of October is Julia's 3rd anniversary as a professional wrestler. So, they sign the contract, Rossi gets up and walks away, and then they start talking. He's like, yeah, it's your 3rd anniversary, so, I can't give you, a gift there, because we're going to be wrestling, so I'll give you your gift now. So she goes off camera, comes back with a small cake. It's like, happy anniversary, Julia. Here, hold it. Man, she smashes it. Himeka smashes that cake into Julia's fucking face, and Julia's like, she doesn't know how to respond, and then like Himeka runs off, and then she gets hot and she runs off camera after her. So that's the feud. Just like simple. I beat you in the tournament. You're the champion. I'm going to hit you with this move that I put you in the hospital with to win it. So even though Julie's the faction leader and she's the underling or whatever else. So they have this match, and for me, this match reminded me of the first match I ever saw Julia against in Ice Ribbon. As far as it was a title match, and it went along, and then like it built over time. Like it starts off slow, and then like once Julia starts brawling, which is always her strong suit, I don't give a damn how much better she ever gets at technical wrestling and trying to grapple and doing all the mat stuff she does, whatever else. She will always be at her best when she's brawling. So they, anyway, in this match, like Julia just puts her on the ground over and over and over. Keep in mind, like for those that aren't familiar with Stardom, or familiar with these two, Julia's like 5'5", Himeka's like 5'8" and big. Like, she is the giant of this division. Or 5'9" maybe. And she's a giant of this division. And Julia is just wrecking her with technical wrestling. It's like, I don't, like, I get it, but I would like to see, the only person I want to see, like, getting, like, wrecking Himeka is like Utami. Cause it's like, Utami's like big and strong. It makes sense. But Julia's like just having her way with her until she finally gets free. And then like they start brawling. And then that's what for me is when the match picks up. They start brawling back and forth, back and forth. She finally has, Julia on the rope. She goes to give her the power bomb. She tries to hurricane run out of it. Doesn't work. Gets her up, gives a power bomb, kicks it, kicks out. And then from there, I can't remember the finish of it because you watched it. I watched it weeks ago or a couple weeks ago. Like what was the finish or a week ago? What was the finish?
Yeah, bro, I don't even remember. Like I said, this one was a little bit hard for me to get into. And it was hard to pay attention to this one. I don't even remember.
Yeah. But ultimately, Julia ends up putting her away after taking her big move in a match where she got mostly got her ass kicked. Like Himeka's like just overcame with emotion and she starts crying because like one, that's like the biggest match of her career, and two, like she taught all that cash shit to her faction leader, and then her faction leader just like beat her ass. Like you got. Like, there are levels to this, and you aren't even on mine. Like, you beat me on an off day. Like, also, with that, we talk about how big Himeka is, as far as being the giant, like, Julia, like, after beating her and just embarrassing her in a way, like, pokes fun at her weight by saying, like, oh, you lost some weight, ha. And then, just being cruel to her after she was talking all that shit. So then, they do the sign off, and then, at the end of it, Julia walks over to her, is like, it's okay. Like, we still cool or whatever else, and then hugs her, and like, you just see the tears falling out of Himeka's eyes, and you're like, damn. Like, she really embarrassed this woman. Like, that was a real humbling. So, what was the other match I ended up, sending you?
So we got Mayu and Starlight Kid against Shuri and Himeka.
God, yes. Okay, yeah. Same stuff. Like you see the tension from between Mayu and Shuri. Also involved in this in the Grand Prix. Starlight Kid and Himeka and Mayu all in the same block. So there was a Starlight Kid Himeka match. And it is exactly what you think it is. It is Fly versus Swatter. It is Hammer versus Nail. It is Mouse versus Cat. And that was a good match. But they're like we talked about, like they've been trying to level up Starlight Kid. Like she's having better matches. She was already good, but now she's like damn good.
Now 18-year-old Starlight Kid. The 5-year veteran, Starlight Kid.
Yeah, 5 years is biz. So, match ends up starting out with Starlight Kid versus Shuri, and they do the stuff I've seen them do, like as far as like girl flips around this murderer. I believe they end up getting Himeka and they get the heat on Starlight Kid, and then it's building up towards getting Mayu in the ring. It's Mayu versus Shuri, and they have another one where they beat the shit out of each other. There's a bunch of stuff, but ultimately, like the baby faces are working on this spot to where all tournament long, they've been trying to get this spot, and I think it's like the same spot that Kagetsu and Mayu did in like Kagetsu's last big match in Stardom, where basically Mayu is seated on the top rope, and then the Starlight Kid climbs with the help of Mayu's arms, climbs on her shoulders, and then dives off for either a crossbody or a drop kick or whatever else, depending on who they're going with. But they keep during this tournament, they keep trying to do it, and it keeps getting cut off. So they get cut off in this match, and then they end up getting Himeka out there, isolated, and they finally pull out the spot where gets on Mayu, or Scarlet Kid gets on Mayu's shoulders. Mayu stands up on the second rope, and she hits this crossbody on Himeka, and it was awesome. And then at the end, you end up getting Starlight Kid versus Himeka, and Himeka's having her way with her and is about to finish her with her running power bomb. And then at the very end, the plucky baby face hits a Hurricane Rana for a small package in the victory. And like, did you see the celebration Mayu had with her?
Yes. Like,
have you ever seen anybody so happy?
I couldn't believe it myself when I saw the pin. I was like, oh shit. Like, I was like, Starlight Kid, like, she beat the big one.
Yes, this was very much like, you know, this wasn't Darby beating Cody, but it was something approaching it on a short build. It was like, hell yeah, let's go. You know, undercard babyface is getting big wins. So, yeah.
There's a couple kicks that Shuri gave Starlight Kid in this match, like, rocked her soul. Like,
yeah. Yeah, like that's
like not kicked her with in the back, kicked her in the soul.
Yeah,
like
like there were at least two of them where, you know, snap mare and just unload, and you just like, she just jostled her lungs, like she just a kick in the back that hard. But yeah, like the main thing. They do that a lot. Like, every time they've been matched up, you see one or two of those in the match where she just fucking just unloads on her. It's like, God damn, you hit so hard, Shuri. Jesus. But, yeah, celebration at the end, like, I'll make a gif of that or a video of that and send it, cause like, it was heartwarming. Like, Mayu was so happy for her. And then, Starlight Kid ends up cutting a promo at the end to close out the show with the rest of Stars. She asks for all Stars to come in. Tam gets in the ring and she starts jumping up for joy for Starlight Kid. I was like, God damn, I love these baby faces. So, sign off, and that was the end of the show. But, yeah, like this weekend they had the final, so we'll see once they end up on Stardom World, like, what is the outcome of it? Like, so far, because it's 5 matches, you can only eliminate so many people, but in the red block, it was Julia and Micah with 4 points. Mayu and Starlight Kid with 4 points. And Natsuko and Saki with 2 points, and they're all alive. Everybody else is pretty much out of it. But I take that back. Utami and Big Sai are still alive, but like they have 1 point, so like I guess they can steal it with 5. In the blue block is like the SEC West, and then like then this red block sucks. But you end up with everybody's still alive, and they all have at least 4 points. Like, they beat, like, keep in mind, like, these blocks rust each other, so, like, this blue block has beat the shit out of the red block. Tam and Mina are still alive at 4. Himeka and Shuri are still alive at 4. Death Yamasan and, not Death Yamasan, Gokigen Death, or whatever you call her now, the Clown, is at 4. B and Konami's at 5, and Momo and Izumi are at 6, so hopefully it's Momo and Izumi. Like, I feel like they've been the best team in this tournament. After that, it'd be Mayu and Starlight Kid.
What a shock.
Right. But yeah, that's all I got.
So I don't know if you heard, James, during the show about 20 minutes ago, a little off topic here, the NBA and the NBA Players Association have agreed on an amended CBA. Free agency is going to begin on November 20th, that's 10 days from now, and signings will be allowed on November 22nd at 12:01.
So 2 days? Okay.
Yeah. So it's coming right up. I don't even think any real free agents out there. So
yeah, this is a bad free agency class.
Yeah. So
yeah, like I was was explained. I heard something. It was like the player movement will be done via trading. It will not be being done during or via free agency or whatever else. And you know, the mid-level exception is a big deal this year. This lets you know this is a trash. This is a trash free agency class.
Trash free agency, trash draft, all that shit.
Yeah. But that's in the show. Be sure to rate us on whatever app you're using to listen to this with. Tell other folks about the Social Suplex Podcast Network. Also, go to ProWrestlingTees.com/Social Suplex and pick up some official Social Suplex Podcast Network merchandise. And be sure to check out the other shows on the network on Sundays and sometimes mostly Mondays, it seems like now. One Nation Radio, Tuesdays, Keepin It Strong Style, Wednesdays, the Ricky Clive Wrestling Podcast, every other Wednesday, Grown Men Watch This Shit, Thursdays, the Grave Consequences Podcast, Fridays, 8-Bit Suplex, and Saturdays, All Things Elite. So, like, I'm going to get a message from Floyd about this, I guess, hate for FTR and Young Bucks, aren't I?
Yeah, I mean, I asked you what you like, and then you continue like going off on it after. So probably,
but I gave it 4.5 stars. I think it's a great match. It's just, it's not, it's great. It's not super great. I guess, is that a no? That's not good enough. No.
I mean, we'll see. What's up, Floyd?
Yeah.
You know.
I'm about to get it. All right, I'll holler at y'all later.
All right, y'all.